Alright, so where we last left off, you were talking with the scientist lady, and then they go, anyway. So, did you want to get into the SUV with the, obviously Voyager scientist?
Yeah, I thought I already did, but if I didn't, then I do.
I suppose we'll just reiterate. So, you go ahead and, slide on in, and the doors close to encapsulate you both. And, soon the car gets rolling. So she is on the other side of the vehicle, kind of keeping a distance and, kind of taking in your measure. There is a uncomfortable silence that draws between you as the vehicle just starts schmoving. Is there anything you want to ask before, evidently, she starts her fucking tirade?
Getting the synthesis Project Voyager. Where's my armor?
That entirely depends. So, if that is really your only curiosity is your armor, I am not privileged to such information. But, in that stead, I also have questions to ask you.
Well, it seems like law enforcement around here is in bed enough with your company to get me in this van, so you might as well just ask.
Last we had recorded, the Selena had uncovered a vessel known as the Majesty and uncovered a soldier known by 447 within its depths, shortly after the vehicle went missing. Do you have any idea what happened to the Selena and its crew?
To the best of my knowledge, they perished on board in cryosleep.
That is unfortunate. Is there anything else I should be aware of?
You have to understand, I wasn't exactly one of the people keeping that ship running. I was just a soldier. I don't know what more you want to know.
Well, I am attempting an investigation into what happened to the Selena, so this very much is of interest to me. I have quite a few questions to ask you. There were numerous experiments on board the Selena, and I need to determine the status of each and every one of them. So I am just curious, run me through what happened. Clearly you were on board the Majesty, and clearly you are here now.
I'm going to turn the music down just a little.
Yeah, do whatever you need to do to get comfortable.
Yeah. I want to make sure it's on the recording, but I also want to make sure I'm able to, like, hear you.
Think.
Yeah. Well, I was being transferred to Arcturus to regroup with my squadron. We had gotten separated, and the time had come for us to gather our strength and prepare for another op. They put me down for cryosleep, and when I woke up, everything was ruined. The ravages of time had taken their toll on everything around me, on the vessel itself.
What do you mean by that?
I mean,
When you woke up, what woke you up?
to the best of my knowledge, there was an accident with the faster-than-light travel system, and we ended up colliding with a civilian transport craft. The inhabitants of that vessel managed to scavenge through the wreckage of the Majesty, find and revitalize me.
So, she starts noting down a bunch of stuff. Are you intending to lie?
Was that a lie?
It was pretty clear that the Selena had found the Majesty.
Yeah, but, like, from my perspective, like, they woke me up, the people on the civilian craft, like,
Oh,
my
you're talking
party.
about the fortune. Yes,
Yeah.
okay, so she's just going to continue writing down stuff. Forgive me, I thought you were referring to Selena.
No. She asked me how I woke up, and that's, I was explaining.
These people, do they have any more information as to the status of the starship?
If you're asking what happened to the Selena itself, I can only assume it went down with the Majesty.
And what happened to the Majesty, pray tell?
We, if I recall correctly, it was caught in orbit over this planet, Zavov 3. And we had to take a shuttle to escape. Maybe it was... So do I know if it was actually destroyed? Is the
As
wreckage of the
far as
Majesty still up there? Would I recall this?
I'll let the others answer because it seems like they know.
It jumped right as we were leaving, because that was the whole point. It was going to jump back into whatever
Oh,
form
yeah.
of FTL it was, and we had to get off before it did.
We didn't know
Or
what...
else we don't know when we were going to come back out.
Right. We didn't know what exactly was causing it, but it was about to slip back into the space between spaces. So I can only assume the Selena being attached to the Majesty is now lost in the Echo.
That is quite unfortunate. Do you know the status of Dr. Eva Shornosk or a Dr. Rita Ox?
Nosk. That's a name that I recognize. I thought Nosk wasn't on board. I thought that was a name that was only in your records.
I wish to understand your point of view, so please continue. What do you know of these two?
All I know is they worked for your organization, Project Voyager, and they have some leading role in the recovery of assets relating to the Majesty. I don't know if they were actually on board. By the time we got into the Selena, it seemed that all Project Voyager personnel had either escaped or were dead.
And what of the other things within the Selena? You woke up with these people that had crash landed into this amalgamation of starships, and clearly, seeing as how they had freed you, you explored other aspects of these two ships. Did you find anything else worth of note?
I'm not gonna mention aspect, but I'm fairly certain the most notable thing we did on that ship was we retrofitted one of the escape pods to act as a shuttle to get out of the craft. I tried to find my armor, but it wasn't there.
You can see that this clear, it's definitely a mix of suspicion and frustration. And she just kind of leans over. This very, frail non-combatant suddenly becoming, definitely intimidating in nature. I do not intend to mince words, 447. Do you know anything about the black orb that was on storage in the Selena?
So,
This matter is of dire importance.
that was something of yours.
Not something of ours. Something that I and our associates were looking into. If you know anything about that, now is the time to share such information.
I'm not sure I'm at liberty to talk too much about it.
I don't understand what you mean by that. You're not at liberty to say?
Like I told you, I'm no scientist. I couldn't tell you exactly what it was.
But you saw it.
I did.
Then tell me what happened from the beginning.
I'm really trying to gauge if I should spill the beans about Aspect, because I'm not good at fucking lying, and I'm alone in this van with this bitch and some fucking advanced law enforcement officers. This ain't a good position to be in.
Quick question, Levi. I did wonder this for a while. If you tell a story and you aren't really you're giving the complete truth, but you're omitting stuff, does that
Lying
still
by
count as a bluff
omission.
check?
I think
That
that's
is
still bluff.
Bluffing, yeah.
Because you're knowingly having
yeah.
to leave out details, which means that you have to be making a conscious effort to not
Fair point.
drop hints, body language, stuff like that.
Okay, I just didn't know if it went that far or not.
I'm gonna let my dog inside real quick. It'll take like 2 seconds.
Okay.
Tactical break to figure out how he's gonna bullshit his way out of this one.
Creating space.
I've done that before.
Clever.
Or when things get awkward, it's just like, yep, bathroom break. how I figured out one of the skills that would have been so damn helpful throughout the entirety of the campaign that I've had for ages through Casino Edition? I just now realized within the last 3 sessions how to fucking use it.
What
Oh,
skill?
no.
Okay, I'm back. Alright.
So,
If you want to know our experience with it, the orb you're asking about, it spoke to us.
what did it say?
It guided us out of the Selena and helped us rig a shuttle to escape with.
So, you came into contact with this orb. Clearly not an orb any longer.
I can't tell you precisely what it is, but it is intelligent and self-aware.
So she drums her fingers on the side of the vehicle
I suppose
and kind of thinks for a moment.
I suppose the closest approximation would be artificial intelligence, but no AI I've ever seen has been composed like that.
Then this AI, as you so aptly put it, escaped with you.
It made it off the ship.
Do you know what happened to it?
Well, it's no longer in its material form.
What do you mean by that?
We don't get any control over it. It is its own entity. If you're trying to get me to turn it over to you, that's far beyond my control.
Are you saying that you carry it with you?
In a sense.
She turns over towards the guard in the front seat. Stop the vehicle. You come to a quick halt. She turns over to you. This will not be the last time that we meet. And she tells you to get out of the car.
I kind of figured we were heading towards a dissection table at this state. As for this not being the last time we meet, I agree. I'm getting my armor back. And with that, I slap the sides of the van and hoist myself out of the vehicle.
So the door, as soon as you get out, actually closes behind you without any assistance, and the vehicle skids off and begins rumbling away.
So, I'm gonna tap my comm unit. Aspect, are you with me?
There is a few confirmation beeps.
Think I might have said too much back there?
I don't really know, honestly.
I wanted to try to protect us all, but
I think you did what you could.
of all the people who they could have picked, they picked the absolute worst liar out of the group.
I'm sure we'll figure this all out.
Regardless, next time I meet them, I want it to be on my terms, not theirs. But that's neither here nor there. Better get back to them. And with that, I'm gonna try to navigate my way back to the party.
So, you eventually make it back to the apartment. Everyone is here, correct?
I'd hope so.
Yeah.
I would assume so.
Sel,
Yeah,
Timothy, Vaku, and Yarich, and
Zelda
Kos.
and
Yeah.
Timothy very much.
Yarich is sleeping on one of the last pillows from.
Yeah, I assume that 447 was on his own in the van.
Well, yeah.
He's on his own.
We're just kind of waiting for him to, you know, assess the situation, I guess.
Well, yeah. I come
Alright.
back, and I guess I'll lay it down for the party. So, as I'm sure you all remember, back at that checkpoint, law enforcement wanted me to stay in the city so they could contact me at a later time. As it turns out, they turned me over to Project Voyager. Just had a brief discussion with one of their scientists. Asked a few questions about the Majesty, the Selena, their vessel that was docked to it. And there was really no skirting around the issue. They directly asked about Aspect. They were already aware of the black orb that was on board. Given that I was in no position to lie, I had to tell them that we are bonded with her.
Did you?
Did you say we or did you say you?
During the conversation, I didn't make any mention that Aspect was bonded with the rest of you. As far as they're aware, Aspect is with me. But
And then upon finding this out, they just let you go.
to explain how I was awakened, I did have to let them know that you exist. They don't know who you are. I didn't use any names.
However,
And yes, they did just let me go after learning that Aspect is now within us.
That is incredibly puzzling. I almost have to wonder if they're going to be observing us. No, not wonder. I know they're going to be observing us now.
So, I do have a question.
I would have lied if I could, but that was no position where I could have. And even if I were comfortable doing so, the fact of the matter is I'm not a liar.
No, it's understandable.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are these guys like dangerous by any chance? Like, we're not like, you know, at risk of walking down the streets and then getting black bagged, are we?
Well, Doctor, given that I gave my information to some checkpoint guards and then later on they picked me up in a van, I'd say they at least have a working relationship with law enforcement.
But the fact that they found out that you were in possession of something they seem to have a great deal of interest in and didn't just kidnap you and throw you on a dissection table proves that at least right now it doesn't behoove them to kill us.
There's more to this. I was talking with Aspect and, well, this scientist vowed that we would meet again, but I want it to be on my terms, not hers.
You're right. If we're meeting her again, I'd rather not be them trying to pick us off individually.
They have something
we already have our... Yes, and we already have our incentives for sticking together via Aspect, but I don't want any one of us getting individually taken away in a black van again. They caught us with our pants down, and I don't like that.
As far as I could tell, as long as he, you know, they don't draw the conclusion that Aspect is possessed by all of us, then that means there's only one liable target, unless they wish for a hostage.
More than anything, I want to find out what their interest in association with Aspect is. Did they find her, or did they make her?
Well, they were aware of her before I even opened my mouth about her. I was evasive about the subject until she brought up a black orb. Well, Aspect was a part of the conversation that the scientists brought up. I wasn't going to mention anything about Aspect until that happened.
I know this doesn't really have much to do with Aspect, but did you at least find anything out about your armor?
No, not at all.
Well, that's disappointing. All that grilling and questioning, and we didn't get to find out any of our information.
She asked far more questions than I had the opportunity to ask.
Bastards.
So, what are we gonna do about this situation?
Hold on.
I don't know.
Give me a moment. Yari just gonna begin looking around and trying to look for cameras.
No. Give me a perception check.
Where's my...
Wait,
I would imagine as you're looking for your perception, what you're doing is you're actually just flittering around the room, checking for camera points.
Hey,
and,
Levi.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I like look out the window for unmarked vans?
Sure.
Oh god, you're all so paranoid so quickly.
We are in a room
I guess I could look around as well.
If you guys are looking for cameras and the windowless vans and other spies, you've waited far too long. We've already talked about sensitive details in the open, and I'm a little,
So, Yari, you check around the room. No cameras in here, aside from, like, the cameras on your own devices.
I don't see your reaches roll.
Specialist camera. Timothy, you check outside. No black vans or anything. Vaku, what are you looking for?
Much the same thing.
Yeah, you take a
if
general
all of you
look
are
around,
so
there's
concerned
nothing
about
suspicious.
this, about them bugging a place that we've already been known to stay at, then we should probably continue this conversation elsewhere. We saw what happened the last time that we tried to check for evidence or surveillance and fucked up.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
You know what? I think I need to go out for a walk. Anybody that wishes to have this conversation, I think should come with me if you're that paranoid about this room being breached.
I'm
But
just
once
gonna
again, you've started your search too late. You've already revealed too much sensitive information that if you were truly worried about
I
prying
don't think
eyes-
we've ever had this talk in this room before, so I never had.
Yes,
any
but we've
reason-
had it now. We've openly said aspect, and she's linked to all of us. We pretty much just condemned ourselves if that's what you're worried about. So we
If
continue the
there are
conversation
any-
like normal fucking people, or acknowledge that we've already
I
lost.
mean, that's.
I am
that's
amazed you guys
only,
didn't check the first thing you got here.
That's
The
only.
camera pans underneath the room to reveal the secret civilization of mole people
That's-
listening intently.
It's only.
No.
It's only
There's more
true
people.
that
I'm going to dig myself down there and beat them up.
it's only true that we've outed ourselves with our listening devices in this room, and I kind of doubt that.
Whatever.
I'm
Let's
going-
just continue
yeah,
the
fuck it.
conversation as it were.
Green.
What are you looking for, Eli? Are you looking for the
Christ.
mole people?
No, instead of cameras, I'm just gonna look for bugs, like just in general.
Yeah, you take a general sweep around and you don't find anything of the sort. Room looks pretty clean.
Okay.
I'm looking for the mole people. Hold on.
Are you looking for the mole people?
I'm looking for the mole people.
All right, give
That's
me
like
Mind you,
I
we're
will-
on like we're
That's
like
like
on the
thought I'll
second
also-
Way ahead of
I'll-
you.
Let's look for the mole people.
You find the mole people.
Oh, no.
They're all dead.
Oh, thank
Nice.
God. All right, let's go for a walk and celebrate.
Oh god.
I guess I'll
Anyway.
go for a walk as well.
So, the conversation before.
Right
there
before they
any-
walk out, Sal's just going to say, it's probably best that I am not out and about, unless I absolutely have to.
Yeah, I'm gonna just stay here.
Well,
Alright.
Yeah.
steps in the right direction. I've now spoken with someone from Voyager. I'm closer to getting back what's mine.
Well, you say that, but these people seem rather possessive of their toys. If their attitude towards Aspect is anything to judge based on,
My armor's not their toy to keep.
they're gonna view it as their toy, regardless of if you don't. They're gonna say they stole it square, fair and square.
What's the term? Might makes right. And I'm afraid if they are a private company with a private military, they've got a lot of might. And I don't think that one man or even a small group is going to do much to change that.
I mean, I suppose in the most likely scenario, your information about Aspect could be used as a bartering chip for your armor, but that seems like a very short-sighted play.
My intention
Well-
was never to hand over Aspect for my armor in return. That's ridiculous.
I never said hand
We
her
can't
over.
even-
I meant information about her. Chance
Oh.
from the tone of your conversation, I have to wonder if we know more about Aspect than they do.
We likely do.
They poked and prodded at Aspect in a closed environment where they most likely treated her and her as them as both being hostile entities, and she's been, I dare say, friendly with us.
A little creepy,
Yeah.
but I get the same
The
feeling.
fact of the matter is, they didn't seem to know
I agree.
Aspect was self-aware or autonomous until I had to tell them. To them, it was just a black orb.
I don't know if I like the fact that we are now a project or a point of interest for them or not. Actually, don't
Currently,
like it. That's an easy one.
currently, I'm a point of interest for them. I didn't out any of you.
They're going to point fingers at us, even if you didn't.
Do they know about all the other stuff that
I
Aspect
didn't.
can do?
I didn't name any names. I didn't. All I said was a civilian craft intercepted the Majesty, and the occupants woke me up.
Well,
And then-
think of it.
And then
Like-
we escaped. Then we escaped on a shuttle. That's
well,
all they
think
know
of it
about
like
you.
this: you were picked up at a police checkpoint for having a suspicious background, and all of the records that the cops had went to Voyager. Now Voyager knows. Oh, well, there's a random gang of civilians that woke you up and were on the same vessel. They're probably going to try to look for your accomplices, and if they can just pick you up off the street and know exactly who and where you are, it's going to be a trifle for them to find out who we are. If you assume we have any anonymity right now, you're wrong.
They
this
probably
point,
already
It's
I-
at
know
no
who we
fault
are.
of your own, but they're going to find us if they want to find us, and chances are they're interested now.
They don't know the
At
people
this
I came
point,
to
I
the
suggest
checkpoint
we
with
get
are the
the
same ones
buggy
who woke
and
me
we-
up.
I say we get the buggies and go to Kiliad.
What's that gonna solve?
Well,
You just
We
want to
need
hide
to-
out in the desert forever?
no. I'm just saying we finish our duties before they come and take us.
You want to go ahead and give our loaner vehicle back?
Eh,
Actually, I have out of character question for Levi. When is
Yes.
what day is today, and when's the gala happening?
So, currently right now, it was said that it would be about half a week, and judging off of my own, like, guesstimations, you guys are likely having spent a night here just kind of figuring things out. The drow got assassinated, and then going and taking on the fire rats, and then immediately coming back to the slug, and, you know, determining all of that and resting. So that would
God,
be
it's happening soon. It could be tomorrow.
your day 2. So day 3 would be today, which you guys are currently spending, I would assume, unless I'm missing another day, which I could be. So about 3 or so days until the gala.
I'm running short on time for my own personal affairs. I don't think I could do a trip to Kiliad right now.
Understood.
Well, at the
I
very
just-
least, we can go back to the Fire Rats base and get that car over here.
I wonder how much time I could press by being away from you guys.
We need
for
to
a little
get
while.
we need
I
to get that car
gather
over here,
information.
and we need to go back to that dealer and buy another buggy.
Something that you guys also were interested in, just to remind you, is perhaps skipping the buggy, or rather finding a new vehicle for the entire group.
That's
just
true.
to remind you.
That's
Yeah.
true. Or, all right, we're at least getting that car to give to Kiliad to replace the one we lost.
Yes.
Then we can discuss maybe getting a single vehicle that can seat all of us.
Well, I guess.
No one's forcing you to trade your buggy in, Doctor, but we'll just have to see what happens.
Honestly, with the state it was in, and the fact I doubt a full repair would have been possible, I don't feel it's gonna have too much life left in it.
He
even if.
already
No,
picked
how
it
how
up.
well of a repair was done on it?
So whenever you got it back, it looked pretty much as good as the original. I mean, you paid quite a sum to get that thing repaired, and it was maintained by somebody who knows their craft.
Were the brakes replaced?
Oh, I absolutely imagine they were.
Okay, cool. I just like the idea that Tim Tom drives heavy on the brakes.
Uh,
I mean,
no wonder
it's
they
his
go out
character.
so easy.
Well, he does have to press hard because he has so much weight to stop.
Christ.
Then once we have a vehicle for ourselves, and once the detective's business is done here, we probably need to find a way off planet.
Well, and as a short aside, I decided to go back to the Bounty Hunters Guild, or the Freedom, Anti-Freedom, Convict, whatever the fuck they are.
You don't really care as long as they give you bounties, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, they could be called the Bumfuck Association, and I'd be a part of them.
How
But
untrue.
there's a small fry somewhere for some extra cash if we need it.
Just so you are aware, they are literally just called the FRN, or rather the Fugitive Recovery Network.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
Yep, you don't care, I'm just letting you know.
They're all a bunch of friends.
I'm going back to the Fire Rats hideout to recover that vehicle.
I'm actually gonna write that down now.
Fun fact, the FRN is a real organization.
F is for friends who do stuff.
Do stuff
Oh,
together.
small aside.
And
One of my
it's something we
coworkers
don't
got
talk
called by
about.
a bounty hunter the other day.
Oh shit.
Oh,
The fuck?
He's trying to find his ex-wife's new boyfriend.
Ah.
oh. Christ.
So-
Wow.
And some
I'd
of
be
the
offended
charges-
if I got that call. I'd be like, "You think I talked to my ex-wife's boyfriend? What the
Well, no,
fuck?"
here's the thing. He let them live at his old house before he sold it, and then he sold it and he kicked them out.
Nice.
Oh.
Based.
So, but some of the crimes was assault, planning to kill police officers,
Oh god.
Based.
and attacking police officers.
Good lord.
Fucking
So-
Christ.
What a stand-up guy.
Oh, I guess that's what you have to do to get a bounty hunter on your ass.
So
I was
I
kind
can't-
of wondering about
I,
that.
I obviously can't name names because it's a recording, but you know that was pretty funny to hear about.
Good lord.
Huh.
That's fucking great.
So you guys are gonna go back to the Fire Rats hideout?
That's what I'm
Yes.
doing.
Suppose so.
Alright. So,
If they're going, I'll go with them too.
yeah,
because-
you all maneuver, make it
Yeah.
back to their little gang hideaway. Funnily enough, the garage is still open.
Oh,
Oh, so the car's probably gone.
We'll
You
see.
do go ahead and take a look around and immediately see poking out of the garage, the car is still sitting there.
All
I
right.
guess the car doesn't work.
Let's
Tim
look around
Tom
for a key.
knocks. Tim Tom's
You
gonna go up
knock?
and knock. Tung tung tung. Hello? Is anyone home?
There is a sound of, like, scuffling inside.
Oh God.
Hello? We're here to confiscate your car.
Doctor,
You
don't
don't
hear-
hear,
Stealthy
you don't hear
approach.
any response.
I like the very weird relationship we've had with the people here, because if they are here again, we're just stealing their car.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
We did.
God.
kill a
We
lot
did
of
just
them.
kill their leader.
Okay, I'm glad you understand. Thank you.
So you're gonna start
You're a
poking
fucking
around.
idiot, Doctor.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna look for their key.
Alrighty, go ahead and those of you that want to search for keys, make perception checks. Anybody else that wants to do something, let me know now.
I guess
have
while
a
I'm looking around
slight-
for the key, I'm gonna slink around the place a
I'm
little
going-
bit.
Oh,
Knowing-
fuck, you know what I forgot?
See if there's anything. Ooh.
Oh, it's done.
What about the laser? What about
Yari
the laser
just-
turret? Ah!
The laser turret, no.
I thought we already took that in like the first time we were here.
I
We
left
did.
it in the van. No! No!
No!
No.
Alright,
Yari's
so
just gonna go look around for any spare parts for vehicles that could help.
fair enough. So,
Especially like things like brakes.
yeah, we'll resolve the first three. The combined team of the Centurion, Vaku, and Ankos, you all look through this entire place. Just start scanning the walls, the floors, underneath things inside of couch cushions that are kind of ruined and filled with bullet holes. Eventually, one of you finds, just kind of hidden under a stack of random assorted garbage, a set of keys that seem misplaced. As if, the people themselves actually did not have the keys, like they had lost them.
Nice.
So, I also
Nice.
I want Dog to crawl through the window and search the car. Because the window was broken last time.
Yes, so you're gonna go ahead and sneak your way inside.
No, I'm just going to. He's just gonna crawl
Oh, sneak
through
is a method of term of fucking not actually sneaking, but you skulk your way inside.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Buttons. Perception.
A 12.
Another 12.
So, you skirt your way inside and start poking your way through, and you are, like, entirely oblivious to the relatively massive-sized possum in the floorboards that is, like, pressing itself flat. And about as you get, like, halfway in or trying to skirt up to the front dash and console, this thing immediately turns rabid and just starts attacking you.
Ah, what
It's just immediately like just scratching and biting.
I can fight a possum.
So it is a 14. I assume that does not hurt you.
Well, if it meets, but that's my base. Would you consider this be combat, and I would get whatchamacallit?
What are you referring to?
Entropy point. Because if so, then it would miss.
I mean, do you just get an entropy point upon entering combat, or what?
It's supposed to be when you roll initiative, so technically, yes.
Yeah, okay. In that case, yeah, it would miss.
Okay.
So immediately, just kind of springing into that combat stage, Dog, you were like lying flat inside of this car, and this fucking possum just starts mauling your side, scratching against the plate, but not doing any actual severe damage.
I'm gonna try and grab the possum.
You see this thing, and the way that it's shifting around in the trash that's scattered in the floorboards, immediately, like, that is the sound that you heard rustling whenever Tim Tom started knocking.
I see.
You're gonna grab the possum.
I'm gonna try and grab the possum.
Alright, go ahead and give me your maneuver roll.
We're evicting the possum.
This thing is hissing, but, like, you just grab it by the throat.
Fuck.
Like, it's just very aggressive, but immediately you just latch on. It's going to attempt to bite you again. An 18, I assume, hits.
Mm-hmm.
Deals 4 points of piercing damage as it just kind of bites into your gauntlet since you've got it by the throat.
Does it have rabies?
Probably.
So at that point, I'm just gonna throw it out the window.
Like
So-
football throw it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no,
somebody
with-
else's problem now.
Without any kind of, like, thoughts, you just immediately toss it out of the window.
It just gets yeeted.
Yarich.
Oh no!
Oh,
Go ahead and give me a reflex save.
the bug.
An 18. You hear this thing's rabid hissing whenever it started attacking Dog, and immediately a white ball of, like, dirty fuzz flies out of the window and lands into the trash pile next to you. You manage to, like, skirt out of the way. As it comes back to its feet, stands right up, and with its head kind of pointed up to the sky, with, like, its eyes still staring at you in this very defiant manner, it immediately skitters to the exit and runs away.
Huh? Yari just going to chase after it for a
What?
moment.
You
Why?
start chasing after this possum. To be fair,
with this rifle pulled.
yeah, you are
What?
as fast as this possum, so you're following it out of the doors. It's like trying to run away and get between a trash can.
Then we just hear,
Chasing
Come
the...
here.
I'm
are
just
you
gonna
doing?
see. I'm gonna see this look in befuddlement, and then take the car keys in my hand and go over to the door.
It is
Of the
angry,
car.
it is hissing, and it wants nothing to do with you.
You think
Come
you
here,
Tim-
play
I
dead?
need
Tim
a
Tom's
good
gonna
bill.
Tim
Oh,
Tom's gonna
God.
come up and he's
It
gonna
tried playing
grab.
dead, it didn't
Wait.
work.
Tim Tom's
Okay.
gonna walk up, grab him by his like the back of his neck. Now there, no messing with the wildlife. That's a bad. You don't know if it got the. And Tim Tom points at him. You don't
whenever-
know if it got
you
the
know what I
rabies.
imagine? You know what I
Rabies.
imagine?
Oh,
I
rabies.
imagine the reason why he's going after him is to replicate the scene from Starship Troopers and the Brain Bug.
Let me break this down for the both of you. This massive bear comes over and picks up the moth, and this possum gives itself severe head trauma, slamming up against the side of the trash can and scuttles into the unknown, disappearing.
Aw.
It's like a bear? No fucking thank you. I'd rather bludgeon myself in the head repeatedly trying to get out of here.
Mercy.
Live possum reaction.
So,
Okay.
you crawl
Yeah.
into the car. Presumably you unlock the doors and get out of the car. Right? Or what are you doing
mean-
trying to get inside of this?
Fucking.
I honestly don't know. I just wanted to get inside of it.
Fair, you are now inside of the car, and Dog is now inside of the car.
If they lost the keys, maybe they've installed like a push button starting this fucking buggy or
Dog is
something.
inside of the hot car.
I'm just going to start shoveling trash out the window.
So by the time that Vaku and 447 swerve around with the keys, there's just trash and like bits of fur coming out of the vehicle.
We might have to take this somewhere and get it cleaned.
Working on it.
I think we're gonna need probably a shop vac and a power washer and a fucking priest to make this thing clean enough to drive.
Christ.
Whatever. Let's see if it turns over.
So, you go ahead and get into the driver's seat and try to activate this car. Put the keys in the ignition, turn it, and you hear the engine just kind of like, it's this almost stutter, like this warbling before it goes dead, and all you hear is the click, 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 click.
May I make a mechanic tracks?
You want to try and repair this vehicle with the spare parts you were looking for earlier?
Yes.
Go ahead, give me an engineering check.
Come on.
Well, eventually, after a semblance of hours, you get together the ensemble of parts that you've ripped apart from these scrap piles around here and just start fucking with the engine. You replace a few components that others wouldn't really think about, and then eventually, about maybe the third, fourth hour, you try the key again, and although the engine's a bit rattly, like something may not be proper, you have gotten the vehicle to start.
Alright.
Maybe we drive this down to the mechanic and have him take a better look at it.
Yes.
So with that,
I
I'm gonna stay in the driver's seat. Buckle up.
No. Buckle up, buckaroo.
Yeah.
Buckle up,
Buckle your buckles, Chuckle Muckles.
And I'm actually gonna
Yari
give.
just going.
Go on.
Yari just gonna go and grab a few books or something equivalent to that, put it on one of the seats, and buckle himself while he's sitting on the books.
Right.
Makes himself a fucking booster seat.
I'm gonna give Gackle a call.
Alright. You go ahead and ring him. It's not that long before you actually receive a video response from him. So it opens up and immediately you see that Gokul is lying flat on the ground, and it looks as if the camera is hanging above him, as if it were kind of just like loosely thrown into the bottom of a vehicle that he is working on. And you were getting like a top-down view of this dwarf.
Cool.
Yeah, what's up?
Won't take up too much of your time, Gackle. We've got a car. Might need it looked at. Doesn't look like it's anything too
sounds
serious.
Good. Drop by sometime later. And you can see that the blood is pooling in the back of his head, and his face looks drained and kind of sagging.
How much later?
Well, the shit that I'm working on right now will probably take me maybe the better part of an hour or two.
Alright, understood. We'll be by around then.
Yep.
I'm gonna
And
go
he
ahead.
closes the call.
Yep. Alright, well in that case, since we... Actually, how long would it take to drive the car down to the mechanic? Is that an hour drive, do you think?
Maybe 30 minutes at most if you get lost.
Okay. Well, in that case, I guess we can chill out here for an hour and just look around and see what's up.
Unless
I don't
anybody
know.
else
Yari is
Actually-
just going to do small things to.
If we have time for other tasks, I'd like to try to... I'm sure I could probably stomach to be away from the party for an hour or two, considering how long we've been together. But
Yeah.
I need to start getting things in order for this gala. I need to go get my fucking suit.
Yari is actually.
Actually, wait a minute. If you're going to get your suit, I'll offer to drive you just so we see how the car does.
Yeah, perfect. Let's head down. to
Yari
the-
is actually gonna say, "I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna check the databases on the computer."
All right, well, don't get mauled.
I'll
by
make
spare
sure
rats.
the little fella there doesn't, attempt to fuddle with the local wildlife. I know
Yeah, for
that was
fuck's-
that's a
fuck's
bad
sake, Yari.
idea.
I'll
Alright,
stay here
alright,
and see if
Ankos.
the doctor can make sure I don't have rabies.
Hop in the passenger seat. and
Wait.
check- What?
Wait, and as soon as he says make sure he doesn't have rabies, Tim Tom's gonna just walk up to him and start fucking evasively fucking with him with medical equipment.
Right, you
Wait.
can give me a medicine check.
Wait, quick question. Okay, I think I remember this. If you don't have the corpse of the animal that bit you, don't they have to keep you in observation for like a couple weeks?
No,
Well,
they just
the-
give you the shot.
This is the future, and Timothy Thomas, you just by chance happen to have a bunch of rabies shots with you, and they're
Ah!
sharp and pointy and terrifying.
Oh, they go in the stomach. No.
Okay,
So-
Mr. Dog, I need you to go ahead and lie down. And he pulls out the leather strap again. You're gonna want to bite onto this.
Seeing all this, I'm gonna look at Ankos and say we should probably get out of here before. people
Yeah,
start
I'm not,
screaming.
I'm okay with not
I,
being around this.
I don't think those things look very sanitary. You just kind of had them in a bag.
No,
Oh, trust me, they're completely sterile. And Tim Tom just jabs him in the stomach.
free tetanus shot too.
Oh yeah, free tetanus shot.
All right, so as you take care of a dog's non-existent rabies, Centurion and Angos. Anybody else going with them? Vaku, maybe?
Sure.
You get in the car and you guys skid away.
Hopefully,
Where you
driving.
going?
Hopefully, the rules of the road haven't changed in the past millennium and a half.
He says driving on the wrong side of the road. Just joking.
Oh, you're supposed to use the anterior lane, not the retrograde lane. Come on.
God.
Christ. But yeah, I remember distinctly a while ago.
Yeah, I remember
I
the
had-
suit that you picked out.
Yeah, I picked one out. I don't know if I actually bought it, but because as soon as I
No,
was about to settle on the
you
decision,
specifically marked it for
Yes.
like an institute rental.
yes.
So having those matters already been taken care of, you could probably go and pick it up.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and go do that. It is just a rental, sadly, so I will have to make sure I return it after the job. Otherwise, that's the difference between paying like 50 credits or 500.
Yeah, it is pretty short. And now that you've kind of got a moment to think about the gala, in fact, you're not really sure, like, how the fuck you're going to handle that, seeing as how you're tethered to a bunch of people.
Yeah, there's a lot of thoughts I have going through my head about this. There's one, the fact that I have all of these people attached to me too. I had a deal worked out to find information on my mark, but got a little caught up in the moment and got him killed before he could get me that information, so I still need to find information. So I'm not walking into this gala completely blind. One step at a time, though. The first step is picking up this fucking suit, and the second step is heavy drinking. I don't fucking know.
I'm one of the better drivers in the party, so as long as you're giving me good directions, we'll get there in one piece.
Hilarious. You go and pick up this suit, and it's a fairly short manner. The human woman there is fairly fast and on time, and already has one packed as if they were waiting for you.
I will say this is a gray pinstripe two-piece, a little old-fashioned, but
Nifty. It's a bit out of date, but who isn't
As
nowadays?
soon as you get back in the car, I'm gonna look at your suit. That thing looks older than me.
Nope.
I mean it's a new suit. It's just an old-fashioned style.
That's what I meant.
I like classic stuff, and this is one of the cheaper ones they had.
Well, at least it's clean.
So I've got a question for you.
Me?
Yeah, you. I guess for everybody, but I guess I'll start with you. If I have to be at this fucking party in a couple days, how the hell am I going to get everyone to come along with me in a way that's not going to be conspicuous?
You think I know the answer to that?
I'm just kind of talking aloud here. I've been rattling around in my head how I'm going to get around the situation for the past few days now, and I can't seem to find good answers for it.
Well, I know precisely jack and shit about dancing.
Well, I'm not saying you guys have to be in the party, but I guess we have to all at least be in a semi-close proximity. If my ideal way of having this play out would be for everyone to just find a nearby location that they could retreat to while I do my business alone, but at the same time, I almost feel like maybe there's skills and talents among our group that could actually be useful for something like this.
Yeah, you sure you aren't gonna get lonely in there?
Yeah, I'm quite sure, but regardless, I don't want to just lock you in a closet so I can do my own business.
There we go.
Hilarious.
Not sure what exactly I'd be able to offer up.
But
Well, unless you need anyone shot, I'm not going to be of much use.
well, honestly, maybe if I want to put on some type of persona to get close to my target, Mr.
I don't know.
have to go back over my
Maybe
notes.
you need a bodyguard.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yourself and Thomas are quite imposing figures, although he's a fucking wreck in most social
Me,
scenarios.
if I cleaned up this armor and put a little bit of a polish on it, I'd probably be able to get in. I'm still human. A bear, though?
Yeah, Saltegris would probably... No, Darian or Saltegris, either of them would probably be a better fit for a secondary bodyguard.
Yeah.
But
I
I'd
guess-
have to look further into this, but would you at least be willing to entertain my nonsense for me to finish my business on this planet?
Well, I don't have any conflicting dates that night.
I still need to find a way to sever my ties with the IAA. I mean, I don't really want to sever my ties entirely, but our situation puts me in a state where I don't think I'm going to be able to work for them much longer, at least not in a normal capacity. I'm still kind of struggling with this whole part of we've been separated from our identities and we need to find a way to forge anew. But I just haven't mentally prepared myself for that yet. I'm just talking aloud here. Like I said, something will come up. Something's gonna happen, and we're gonna have our answers.
You've got to get your way into that dance one way or the other.
Well, I think I'm pretty sure that I've already got an invite fostered for the dance. I just need to think about how I'm gonna accomplish my mission once I'm in there.
Well, maybe if involved preaching and entering and laying down a few rounds, I'd have good advice.
Nah, trust me, that's the last thing I want to do here. In my line of work, getting bloodied gets you arrested. I'm not a mercenary.
And I'm not a dancer.
Fair. Anyway, well, thanks for the ride. Let's just go ahead and get back to the hideout. I'll muse on this by myself.
How long was the drive from the hideout to here?
I assume that it is enough that you can go to Goggle now.
Well, we'll get back to the hideout in a minute. I think it's about time we head over to Goggle.
Right.
So, you go ahead, and this thing is running a bit more smoothly than you thought it would be. You turn it over to Gokul, and he gives it a pretty, like, thorough run-over. And he just kind of determines that a couple of the minor components that are kind of determining just how well this, like, vehicle starts up are a bit past their prime, and there are just some minor replacements that need doing. If I had to give you a rough guesstimate, I mean, honestly, I could probably get these parts from a nearby store. I wouldn't even have to order them out. Maybe I could do it for 50.
That sounds reasonable. What about?
Literally take me, like, maybe 20 or so minutes.
Well, I'm glad this thing's in good condition then.
I'll hand over 25 credits and cover
Yeah,
half the
I'll do
cost.
the same. And while both Ankos and I are half and halving the repair cost for this car, does this include perhaps getting a new window on there?
No, I mean, if you want the window repaired, that's going to be a bit of a heftier procedure. I mean, we've got to figure out the specific manufacturer and get in contact and get a new window. Do you need a new window?
Does it? I thought you said the window was on it was broken.
Yeah, I mean, the window's broken, but, I mean, if you're just fixing about the engine troubles, that'd be the cheap thing.
Well, rough estimate, how much would it be to take care of the window?
Throw in together that 25, or rather, you both paid for that already. I'd say window might be in the realm of... I mean, this is just me guessing. I could give you back any credits that I don't spend. 120?
That's pretty fucking steep.
That is kind of steep.
Do you realize how, like, fucking ancient this car is?
No, I'm not haggling with you. If that's the price, that's the price. I just didn't expect that to be the price.
I mean, this is a pretty old junker. You can't quite find replacement parts for these vehicles anymore.
That's understandable. Maybe.
I mean, specific things like windows. There are some basic things that I could install into it.
Right. Well, let me do some math, and then maybe...
I mean, honestly, I
Alright.
could probably just put a weave over it if you want.
Well, how about this? I'll
You
go
ever
in...
seen those Wastelander movies?
I don't think I have. Enkos, I'll go in 60 to get a new window, if you will.
Yeah, fuck it. Well, I'll help you.
I don't want to give Kiliad a subpar vehicle to replace that buggy. So I'm gonna.
I'll make this money back one way or another.
Yep, I'm gonna fork over 60 credits with Enkos to get the window fixed.
He gives you a thumbs up. Yeah, it'll be maybe hour and 30.
All right. Well, you have our contact info. Feel free to give us a ring whenever the thing's ready to go.
Yep.
Thank you, Gokul. And with that,
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my heel and leave. And I figure that once it's repaired, we can finish cleaning it ourselves. No need to waste any more credits fucking having it professionally cleaned.
Yep. So, what is it that, I assume that you returned to the party, right?
Yeah, so me, Vaku, and Ankos are now walking on foot back to the party, and while we're walking, I'm thinking maybe we should, once we get back to that hideout, round up the rest of our fellows, and head down to the dealership, look for a group vehicle. Today has been a very transportation-centric day.
It seems so.
Yarich, while everyone was gone, was trying to go through the Fire Rats database and try to figure out what their entire plans were for moving forward. And
So, their computer, which you get a sense has been robbed of most of its higher functions by Slicer, you get rough plans that were likely basically like, jot this down, servant. I have my own plans here. Jot this down so that I may remember this. You get a sense that this rat that led the fire rats intended to essentially repair a bunch of the vehicles around here, strip any that weren't capable of functioning for spare parts, and eventually starting a crazy gang that revolved around fire. They were going to get a shipment of flammable material in, and we're going to start making makeshift flamethrowers, but that plan has been
Put on
canceled.
hold indefinitely.
As far as you know, the mangled corpse of the rat is still in the bathrooms.
God.
Yeah.
Sure, we
So,
probably smelled it walking.
Does it? Are there specific vehicles that are marked for reconstruction, or is it just?
No, it's kind of like a what we get is what we break down basis. You have a feeling the car that they were working on was likely the latest in their presumably robberies.
Huh.
So there's not even. So can I find any sort of data for their banking system, or no?
You're wanting to find like their bank account information?
Well, specifically the fire rat himself. It's not like he's gonna be using
You get a sense that this rat probably did not have access to any kind of bank.
it.
Like, he was probably insane based on the jotted down notes, which by the way, Slicer has commented on, being like, this is fucking ridiculous. There's no way this won't work without blowing up half of the base. You get a sense that this was just some insane rat that had an idea to start a gang.
Right. With that, I'm going to shut things down and. I don't know if there's even usable components for myself, so I'm just going to maybe chill and sift through things.
Fair enough. So, eventually the entire party reunites.
Actually,
What?
All right, everyone.
he's going to look for a big soft blanket somewhere.
I imagine you probably find one in the same room with Slicer, presumably, because, you know, they kind of kept him in there.
Here
I'm
is-
going to be dragging that around for a while.
You're ragging it. God.
Here's the situation. The car that we have taken from this hideout has been taken to Gawkel to get repairs. Should be done in about an hour. It was nothing major. The most expensive thing about it was getting the window replaced. Once that's done, we're going to bring it back here, clean it out real nice. I don't want to give Chiliad back a ratty, broken down vehicle. So once that's done, I reckon we should head down to the dealership. That's what those are called. And find a group vehicle. I'm thinking we should hang on to that car until we do have a vehicle that can hold all of us.
I don't disagree, but how are we gonna pay for it?
We all have
Well,
money.
if necessary, we
We're-
can trade something in if there's a better option. But if not, then, well, I think we could split the cost between all
I'm
of us.
sure we could all find a way to pull together 1,000 since we were paid 1,000 for taking in Cat. And then if we need any more than that, which we likely will, if the doctor's willing to trade his buggy in, then that's an option.
Well,
Yeah.
Again, I have a job that might be able to help the burden at the very least. It's not $1,000 like before, but you know, should be easy though. It's nothing like what we just did with Cat, because,
Well, unfortunately, pretty much all the pocket change I could have spent on this just went towards repairing the one buggy, so I don't have a lot of contribution to make unless we can get more work in.
How much money do you have?
Got $100 to my name right now.
I see.
Don't
The fuck
forget
is a
that,
buck?
no, 100 creds, sorry. Slang from back on, my home. Anyways.
Maybe we should at least go down to the dealership and see if they have any vehicles that suit our needs. That way we know what price range we're aiming for.
Yeah, get a goal to work towards. I concur. To be quite frank, I don't even know if we could find... What we're looking for is almost going to be more along the lines of a commercial industrial vehicle, not really a civilian item. We're a big group.
I would have to hope he has something that can fit about 8 people.
No, we won't know unless we check, so I'm good with going.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess while the car's being repaired, we're gonna go down to the dealership and see if they have any vehicles that suit our purposes.
Give me a moment. I'll join you in a second. Yari just going to fold up the blanket and slide it into his second skin secret suit container.
Christ. You just shove this into a relatively small pouch. You all get going. So, you guys go ahead and visit the place. Are you gonna get a hold of one of the dealers, or more specifically
mean-
the sleazeball, or?
I mean, the only contact info I have is for Drestel.
Yes, so
And-
you want to
and-
get a hold of him.
I
And
guess
Greco
so.
the thing is, Gakko said Dresstel is one of the best in the city, believe it or not.
Indeed.
So we don't have too much of a choice. As much as sleazeball as he is, we'll head there.
All right. So, all of you guys go ahead and make your way into that little dealership. Having to call him, you immediately realize that he is actually off for the day.
Oh,
But as
shit.
soon as you go and be like, oh, sorry, let me just see if I can't get a hold of somebody here, he's like, no, don't worry about it. I am coming. Just give me like 2 seconds.
God,
And
certified
maybe-
greasy car salesman moment.
Maybe 10 minutes later, you see his car skirt into the parking lot and leave like black marks in the area. It comes to a stop, and then he comes out and he is wearing that like classic white dress shirt, but it's unbuckled at the front with a loose tie that's kind of hanging off. He's trying to pull on a jacket, but you can see that he is like sweaty and just trying to get up to you guys. Hey, how's my favorite people? What's going on? What can I get
That
you?
took
What are you
longer
looking
than
for?
2 seconds.
You know, you
Hey, I'm sorry, that was a turn of phrase. You can't expect me to get ready in 2 seconds.
you didn't have to sacrifice your time off just to.
No, trust me, I am more than willing to do this. It's kind of like, how I live.
All right. Well, we just want to see if you have any vehicles on hand that might be able to carry all of us.
What, 7 people?
Just about.
Points to the big bear.
Shit,
Hello.
that's- You're a big one, I can tell. I mean, we've got some like big vans. You want like a van? Is that too much for you guys? Van too much?
If you have any vans that can fit all of us, we'd be willing to look.
Well, shit. Let's go and take a hop. All right. So,
Now that I think about it, most SUVs do have 7-person capacity.
yeah. So,
But we have bear.
yeah, you
Yeah.
have a big bear. You need something with like storage capacity. So you all take a good look around, start exploring and crawling through all of this stuff, until eventually he stops in front of something that's kind of similar to the van that you used to perform your duties with Cat, but it appears to be from a different retailer. Like it's a different construction. It looks a bit rougher, honestly, but the interior is just as spacious. All right, well, this little urban transport, I mean, I think will fit all of you pretty comfortably. I mean, why don't you just, skirt inside and see if it's comfy with all of you inside.
Right. We'll go ahead and pile in and see if it works for us.
So, like some big dysfunctional family, you all crawl over each other and get seated. And it is so awkward having to pick out like a vehicle for 7 people that definitely are not like related or anything. Just being like, okay, you good? You good? That comfortable? This good?
Tim Tom's knees are up in his face. I don't like this.
Yeah, well, I mean, you are a really big guy. I can like cut a hole in the roof for you if that'd make it better.
Tim Tom kind of has like this pouty face.
We're gonna have to
About-
find something with a sunroof over a middle seat so you can stick your fucking head in it.
Hey, what about something that's open to the air?
That's
Like
what
a convertible?
I'd be willing to entertain that.
No, like something that doesn't have a roof.
Oh. Well, yeah, it works.
Shit, I mean... God, this is gonna sound fucking stupid. How do you feel about... How do you feel about a wagon?
Maybe.
A wagon. I'm sure that the mental
literal-
image I'm getting and what you're talking about aren't the same thing.
Literal animal-drawn wagon.
Oh.
What?
Well, I mean,
Y'all
I guess
each
he,
things.
I guess
They
he could
still
pull
make
it. And I mean,
those?
Yeah, no, I mean, some of the drawing animals here on Zeva 3, they're pretty fucking, like, insane. Have you seen those, like, big motherfucking beefaloes? I don't know what the hell they're actually called. They got plenty of them here.
Or are you suggesting we tow the doctor?
I mean, I wasn't gonna say it.
I
I mean, hell, he could tow the carriage.
Tim Tom looks at you with like this look of offense.
Not
It's
being
like-
serious, big guy. Calm down.
Okay, so I assume War Wagon, like, out of the picture.
I would say that we are not going to find a drawn wagon to suit our needs.
Okay, well, let's take a second. Let's figure out what's our price range.
How much is a vehicle that seats 7 people typically worth? Because that buggy you showed us a while back was 1,000, and that fits, what, 4 people?
I mean, technically, yeah, 4 people.
So, I would assume something that could seat around 7 would be in the range of 1,800 to 2,000 then.
Well, I mean, honestly,
We could always buy another buggy and just weld seats onto it.
that's something to think about.
I mean, we could just have 2 buggies, but I figured we'd want to be able to centralize our transport.
You want something bigger, right?
Right.
Okay, how about this? Alright, how does 2,300 sound to you? Because I got something that's in that range.
We could probably work towards that.
Sound good?
Yeah, let's take a look at what you're talking
Let's
about.
see what you're trying to sell us.
So, he goes ahead and brings you into the back of the lots. Near some of the less expensive vehicles, there appears to be, like, an old military vehicle.
Okay.
Think of essentially one of those drawn military, like, trucks that have the bed with the soldiers in the back, but it's
Like
a
a
lot
deuce and a half.
shorter. And
Okay.
it's kind of like that, essentially. It is a covered, not drawn, quote-unquote, wagon.
Okay.
I
An
mean,
old school army
just-
truck.
I
You don't get AC, but I mean, it'll definitely haul anything you need.
So it's
Probably pull
basically
anything
like
out
a
of the
fucking
ditch.
like a troop carrier or something.
Yeah. Hell, it's gonna have off-road capacity, cargo capacity. I mean, we're trading a lot of luxuries for this, but that's all the functionality.
So I'm
we ever
I'm gonna
need.
post a picture real quick to see if what I'm imagining is like roughly on par.
I'm thinking that APC looking thing from Fallout.
No, I'm thinking I'll post it in TTRPGs. Something like this maybe.
Essentially, yeah, but it's
Okay.
covered. It's got like a cover on top.
Yeah, you know
Oh,
what? I
God.
kind of like that.
Oh, those things
So,
are, those
I-
things
you're
are
Talking
so
about a deuce and a half, aren't you?
I cross my arms and nod my head approvingly. Let's try piling some of us into the back and see how we like it.
For out-of-character reasons, I am not driving this fucking thing.
I mean, I've got one of the higher driving skills anyway, so you don't have to worry about
Boy.
that.
I got to drive one from World War II, and that thing drove like a fucking brick.
I have
they
to
drive
drive
like
this every
fucking
time.
bricks.
I have to drive one of these every time I go to the fucking field, and I hate them.
Oh, amazing.
So I'm gonna hop
Be
into the
better than
driver's.
walking.
I'm gonna hop into the driver's seat, and everyone else can hop wherever they feel like, and we'll see how we're
So I
feeling.
was gonna
You're
take
just
shotgun.
getting past her.
I'm a hop in that little seat right behind it. Like, but Hooper, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The third
Yeah,
seat which
so-
sits like between and behind the driver and the passenger.
Uh,
Because I
Perfect.
imagine it does it have a
As a huge
have a hatch on
fucking
the top?
bear, shouldn't you be in the bed?
no,
Yeah,
dude, you don't understand how much room's in those cabs.
Okay.
They're
No.
huge.
Enough
I have
for
a
a
question.
bear. Enough for
Does
a
it have-
bear
does
and
it have
two other
the,
people.
Does it have the hatch on the top?
Oh god, if it has a turret ring hole in the top, that would absolutely work. And most of those do.
I will go ahead and give you the benefit of the doubt and assume that there is a turret ring on the top and that there is a hatch that you can clamber into. But for the bear, like Tim Tom, climbing through the hatch is kind of like Santa fitting down a chimney.
You wouldn't be able to climb through the hatch. You're just gonna have to like get inside and like you're hunched
you're
down,
poking through.
open the fucking hatch, and then stick your head out the top.
Hilarious.
So, everyone's able to pile into this thing, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
people in the back are not necessarily open to the elements because they are covered, but they don't get AC.
So, I'm gonna climb out, and I guess I'm gonna ask the party, how are we feeling about it?
Ah,
I
Suppose
think it'll
this'll work.
absolutely work, honestly.
I kind of like it.
We can
Tim
fix up the
Tom's
back a bit.
So,
but otherwise,
with
this
that-
will be fine.
With that,
It
I'm
gives
gonna
me vague memories of a pastime.
turn to dress. Will you keep it on hold for us while we save up money?
Trust me, I don't think anyone's buying this thing anytime soon.
Good to hear. We'll be back to pick it up once we've got some more profits at our disposal.
Sounds good. By the way, you still interested in that bike?
I am, but that's a little bit of a ways out.
Oh, I get it. I was just kind of curious.
I mean, why do you ask?
Well, I mean, I like to keep a beat on my customers.
Well, in the future, yes, that cycle would be something that would interest me.
And, again, none of you are cops, right?
No. Wait a minute. Why are you asking? What's the story of this goddamn truck?
Well, now I don't want to say anything.
Listen, am I gonna get fucking pulled over because this thing was using a fucking drug deal?
No,
I'm going
not
to.
anything like that.
I'm going to use diplomacy, and I'm just going to say, look, man, look at us really good. Do we really look like the people that a police department would employ?
Yeah.
Someone help me.
So while we're
I can assist with an intimidate. Hey. don't fuck with us.
Oh no.
Is this really what we're doing right now? He was just
I'm just
offhandedly asking if we were cops. It was a yes or no question.
I'm just gonna put it out there that I may have access to a market of illicit modifications that you may be interested in.
Okay.
Regardless, we also were considering making a trade-in, but that's up to the doctor.
I'm just saying, if you're interested in like,
Tim Tom points at his buggy. How much is that worth in trade-in value?
and like eyes it predatorially before looking back to the rest of the party, and his brow kind of relaxes. That's about like, I mean, hell, just look at it. It's got a bit of a. Why the fuck is the main seat so big?
Tim Tom that's my car.
It's unique to say the least.
Well, it just came back from the mechanic shop, so there's not a whole hell of a lot wrong with it.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. I will give you. Let me think. Okay, so let's be real. That's a very interesting vehicle.
Yes.
Trading in price. If I was going like flat, like this is what I'd give to anybody else, I'd go 100. But for you guys, maybe I'll break for 300, maybe 250.
That is...
Tim Tom suddenly has this offended look in his eyes.
I'm just going to, wait, is there something I roll for appraise? Or something close to it?
I'd probably do wisdom.
You
Just
think
the
you could
wisdom
use diplomacy to barter a price down?
You probably could.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just asking. I don't have diplomacy.
So, here is a better version of, I think, what we could use as the temporary art for the vehicle. Slightly more contemporary, futuristic.
Well,
looking
yeah,
than it's
but you have to
coming
keep
back.
in mind this is an older military vehicle that's not like fucking super...
Older relatively.
Yeah, we're still in a sci-fi setting, and the one that you posted is old by our standards.
Yeah.
I'm going to I'm gonna look at the
Maybe I just buy it.
and
Maybe I'm
say-
just biased. I like the one I posted.
Well,
Fair,
if you
I
like
like
that
that
one
one.
better, then I've got a... There you go. We can use that one then.
I'm going
That's
to
a good
just
compromise. I like that.
What?
Bang.
What were you gonna say, Eli?
I was going to look towards the dealer and just say, considering the fact that we are interested in a vehicle that may or may not be going anywhere anytime soon, and the fact that this is probably our only option at the moment, so it's almost a guaranteed sale, you think you could do 350 on the trade-in?
Go ahead and make a diplomacy check.
So I'd imagine these illicit modifications he's talking about
Oh,
would
that's
be
good.
like that armor upgrade that we're looking at up top. Jesus Christ.
Well, I think I can do 350.
All right.
I'm just going to kind of hold out my hand to shake and just be...
He
I
extends
appreciate
out
it.
his hand, and it is very, very sweaty.
I knew
Good
it.
thing my character is good at facial expression,
So
so
with-
he's just going to keep
so
like that
with the trait,
non-committable
so
smile on his face.
with the trade-in value of that buggy, this truck you're offering us would be 1,950 credits.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I say we hang on to our buggy for now, save up some money, then come back and trade it in for that price.
Sounds good.
All right. Pleasure doing business with you.
No, I'm going to go home and take myself an ice bath.
I salute him, and we go ahead, and I assume we get out.
Yeah, you salute him, and as he's walking away almost next to his car, you hear him whisper, like, fucking creep. And he gets back into his car and drives off. He skids in the parking lot again and then maneuvers his way out.
So as we're leaving the dealership, not gonna lie, I kind of liked that thing.
Yeah, I think
It's something
it's
you're
got a
probably
lot of
used to, though, isn't it?
It does remind me.
Are
of
these
different
are these
times.
are these the trucks that we used to use, that I used to use back when I was?
I would say that these are probably in that realm, although most of them are not syndicate vehicles. They're more like opposing House Baldor vehicles that might have
okay.
been used by their occupants that were much lower technologically than the syndicate.
Okay.
Either way,
Yeah,
if we do
he's
get
a-
this vehicle, I am going to say I would request a permanent seat in the cab.
That's between all of you. I'm driving.
Permanent shotgun. He's just gonna hold up his hand.
Permanent back middle seat.
How about
You-
you guys take your turns where we sit so we all can enjoy the AC?
Yari raises his hand to that.
Regardless,
Tim
we're
Tom
going to have to
begrudgingly raises his hand.
we're going to have to make a little bit of money before we do that.
Either way,
Also, with
yeah.
that turret ring up there, we could probably try to find something if
We're-
we ever need a.
We're each
Little bit.
going to have to contribute 278 credits for this.
I straight up don't have that money right now.
278?
a little.
If
more.
I finish my business here with that with the contract I have with the agency, I might be able to get that kind of money together
I
for
would say
myself.
279 to be safe.
I can give 279. Like,
I-
you want me to just set aside 279?
I could as well, but it would bankrupt me. Almost.
It won't bankrupt me. It'll leave me with like 50 something credits.
I'll be left with 24 credits if I do that. Look,
I say we
let's
hold off
just-
until we get
let's-
get our spaces squared away.
Let's do some work, save up some money, and then go get that thing. I'm surprised he had that. That seems like a perfect fit for us.
So, Mr. Darian,
Yeah,
you said you had another one of those bounty jobs?
it's nothing special, just some idiot who didn't come back for bail.
How much is that paying?
Not much, just 300, but it's something.
That's a step in the right direction.
Might take a day or two to find them, but it's something.
So should
That's
we
the
try to
thing.
get that done before Ankos's gala, or should we wait?
Yeah. I think we could do
Uh,
that while we're working the gala. I need to gather information on Mr. Stursk anyways, but I can do that
Stursk
fairly
anyways?
simply.
And to find the person, we would not need a large group. We just need a small, select group capable of tracking until we know where he is,
Well,
and then we can call the rest of us.
Tracking isn't all that matters. We're going to need muscle too.
Tim
Not until we
Tom
move on him, but we need to find him first.
Tim Tom racks a shotgun while he's just like loading around into it. Oh, sorry. Is the guys talking about something? Oh, puts it up.
So, but for my job, it's really important that we don't kill this guy.
Yeah,
Just, just saying.
Yeah, no, understandable.
We'll try our damnedest.
But what about maiming?
Tim
I don't
Tom
even-
looks at you. Is like, doesn't that seem a bit unethical and inhumane?
I could rape his mind till he's nothing more than a vegetable.
Oh,
That
wait,
would help.
what?
He,
Jesus
What?
fucking Christ, dude, calm the hell
He
down.
just missed bail.
Either way,
Tim Tom has a
If he
horrible
gets violent.
I'm a proponent of the law, and I believe he'll get what he deserves. But I think the punishment has to fit the crime.
Yeah.
However, if he draws upon us, it could be classified as self-defense. And I'm not going to take a bullet for a guy who missed bail.
Tim Tom pulls out his needle pistol. You know I could just like shoot him up with hallucinogenics and make him like freak out for 45 minutes. You don't have to like.
Let's not get charged with an assault and battery fucking case trying to bring down some lowlife.
If
I
I
would,
get
I
shot,
would say that we should help Darian as much as we can in this case and let him handle the actual apprehension because he's the only one I trust to not fucking kill this guy.
I wasn't trained to upper hand people.
Yeah, that's why you're not going to.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Very well.
I could probably just grab him. We throw him in the back of.
Yeah, we
car.
got a great vehicle for that. Fuck yeah. Let's do that. Probably tie down. Well, actually, wait, in the car, yeah.
Honestly, I don't want to know if there's tie downs in the trunk.
Is there a trunk?
Tim Tom opens up the trunk and looks for tie downs.
What, in the gang vehicle?
Yeah.
What I miss?
No, you just find
Everything.
a regular trunk.
Yeah, empty, no spare, no
Nope.
spare tire.
There's like 4 other possums here. Just joking.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. We don't have the gang car with us. It's being worked on right now.
I assume that if you guys are going to go back and check the trunk in this, you would be going to Goggles hideout.
Okay, fair enough.
Is
So-
hideout?
You all are going to go to his mechanic shop, you're going to get the car back, and then what are you guys going to do?
Very good question. I think if we're okay with going ahead and finding this bail skipper before we hit up the gala, we should do that.
Yeah.
So, you all go ahead and load up into the vehicle, head to that site, find your way, navigate through the apartment blocks until you find the one that is under his name, and I assume you knock?
Do we?
Yes.
That's up the dog.
Hang on. Before we do this, Tim Tom's gonna be like, "Is there a back door?
It's a part
Windows?"
It is a pretty bad part of town.
So, dog is just gonna knock.
You knock a couple of times, and eventually the door opens, and this very shaky old woman answers the door. Oh, hi. I wasn't expecting guests.
We're a bit uninvited, ma'am.
Yes.
So, kind of just, he's gonna set his foot in the door and say, "Is Chester there?"
Well, yes, he is. And she turns around and immediately screams, Chester! And you hear, what? You got visitors here for you. There is silence. Chester! And she starts navigating, like,
I'm gonna
huddling
listen.
over towards the door in his room.
So I'm
going to
gonna
listen,
peek.
see.
I'm gonna peek my head over and then turn towards Darian. How many of your jobs go like this?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. And at this point, dog is going to say, "Sorry, ma'am," and just push open the door and walk inside.
You push aside this old lady that immediately falls.
No, not like that, but like push
Okay.
open the door to go inside and
Alright, so you gently move past the old lady and open up the door, and you find this, like, grouch of a man. Like, he's shaped like a pear, trying to stuff himself out of, like, the small window slot in his there is an
how high
active...
up are we?
You are actually on the first floor, which means that he is trying to crawl out and basically roll into the fucking concrete on the other side. But you can see that to his left is an active computer terminal that appears to be, like, immersed in some violent first-person shooter.
Oh, God.
And there are people screaming on the mic that this dude has, like, stopped moving. He's actually, like, the last person in a, like, last man standing scenario, completely frozen in the corner somewhere.
Tim Tom's gonna walk up, pick up the headset. "I'm sorry, but he's not available right now."
As Tim
Hit the
Tom is
power
doing this, I'm
button.
going to pull the plug on the computer.
Yeah.
It all goes out.
I look towards the game wistfully before the screen blinks out, and then look back towards the situation developing.
Somebody should grab
So,
this fat
I'm
ass
just
before he
going to
hurts
walk
himself.
out the other
I'm-
side and
Dog
wrap
is just
around
gonna
towards the window.
grab him by the ankles and pull him back in.
I'm
So
gonna
yeah,
help
no,
out by grabbing him by the belt and also pulling.
Yeah, you
I'm
need a
gonna-
bit of assistance because this man is very
This man is
large.
chunky.
You
He's a
pull
heckin'
him out,
chonkerino.
and as he hits the floor and deflates like a balloon, he turns around and you can immediately see that his face is just coated in tears already,
So
and he is beginning to snot up.
Seeing this guy, I'm gonna look down at him, abandoning your teammates, abandoning your bail. Anything else you haven't abandoned?
It's just this gurgledness
Regular
of
diet and exercise.
Dog is going to put restraints on him and, just be like, listen, man, you really should have just paid your bail, and gonna escort him back to one of the cars.
I told him it wasn't my car. I shouldn't be the one going to court. And he continues on this tirade as you load him up into the back of the vehicle. You're gonna put him in the trunk.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm not sure if I'm thankful or annoyed.
Choice?
God.
I'm not sure if I'm thankful or annoyed that more of our case is going to be like this than Cat.
So
Listen, hunting is a
while we're
boring job.
carrying this woman's son out of her house in fucking handcuffs, how is his mother reacting to this? Or grandmother? What is she?
She is in the fridge right now, and she pulls out a platter of some Tupperware food, and turns around with her bottle glasses. It's like, oh, what young, nice people. We haven't had visitors in I don't even know how long. Can I get you all some food, some drinks? And
Ma'am,
actively carrying him out.
Your son is being arrested for skipping bail.
Oh, that's wonderful. I don't think he's had visitors in 10 years. Please just sit down. Just have some food and drinks.
Man, this is a very serious situation.
And tell me how you met my son over food.
We met him on a bounty board where he is currently wanted for skipping bail.
Oh, it's his video game friend. That's very nice.
Dog is just gonna come over and be like, ma'am, your son's going to jail.
Oh goodness, I didn't think he was that talented.
You won't be seeing him for a while.
What award is he winning?
I think you should have a nice day, ma'am.
You are going to have to go to the nearest fugitive recovery center and figure out where he's being kept and what his court date is so you can support him.
Well, goodness. Well, it was nice meeting you all.
Best
As
of
we
luck
leave,
to you.
Tim Tom's like, does anyone else feel really bad for her?
Hold on. Sense motive. Is she just wanting to get rid of him?
Yeah.
Does she seem completely lucid and she just wants this fat piece of shit out of her house?
That's a very good question.
I'll
Is
sense
it
motive as well,
is it
because
dementia or is it fucking relief?
There
we go.
This is a setup. This old lady knows what's going on. She's faking that she can't hear.
I'm going to walk up to 447 and just
the scream that she gave her son that she clearly does not have a high enough opinion of him.
I'm just gonna tap 447. She'll be like, it's okay. She'll be fine. Have a good day, ma'am.
Yes, you too. Such young, nice people.
I guess with that, I'm gonna turn towards the door and leave. Fuck.
As you all leave, you hear the locks immediately go
How old is this guy we're arresting?
He is 30s.
In case any of you are wondering or
Sure,
felt
he
bad about
smells
this,
like
I'm
he's dead.
fairly positive that woman just got out a bottle of wine. We just did her a favor.
Honestly, that's typically how it goes.
Yeah.
At this point, Chester is passed out from sheer panic.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not mistaken, you don't even need a warrant to get these guys.
Well,
Nope, they don't care how I do it. They just care that they get them. Usually.
you have a very interesting job.
Yeah, kinda. I mean, listen, People have a price.
I
and
feel
I
like
cash out.
even now in my enfeebled state, I'm a little overqualified for this.
But it's the easiest 300 credits you've ever made. Or, well,
We've
ever made, I suppose.
Fuck.
If we get a few of these in a certain area, you could really rack in quite a bit.
Yeah, it turns out criminals don't kind of like to congregate in the same area. They kind of just come from everywhere, so that doesn't ever happen.
Let's
And,
just
you know,
get this guy into the station so he's no longer our problem.
Are you going to
Yeah.
try and force him into the trunk?
well, can we fit him in one of the seats?
I mean, we still have 2 vehicles with us.
Everyone is like squeezing into the car. This is essentially a clown car.
So
moment.
hold on a second. We've got Tim Tom's Bucky still, which has
Yeah,
4
if you're
seats.
taking both cars.
And we
Okay.
how many seats does the fucking Ganger car have?
It would be the same 4 seats.
Okay, there's 8. There's 7 of us. 1 of him. We
Yeah,
can.
you're fine.
we
You
can
could
fit him
put
in
him in
this.
one of the seats if you're taking both vehicles.
I say we put him in the car since it's enclosed.
Who is sitting next to him?
I'll drive the car. I think Darian should sit next to him.
Darian is going to try to explain his rights, but just be like, and
He's
can be
already
quiet, but whatever.
As I hear you trying to read him his rights while he's passed out, I'm gonna briefly look over my shoulder before getting my eyes back on the road, and I'm gonna say, shouldn't he be awake for that?
Do you think it's my problem?
Christ.
I mean, you guys can tell them that I read him his rights. That's what matters.
I'm not sure that's how that works, but I guess you're the veteran here. I shrug my shoulders and keep driving.
So, all of you
Cool, I
guys.
Guess I will be having to leave probably sometime around 5:45 now.
Oh,
Someone
shit.
needs help with something.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
That's no good.
So, as you guys are driving down with this individual, eventually, which car is he in?
He's in the Ganger car, the enclosed one, so he can't just, like, roll out if something happens.
Roll out.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So, he goes ahead, and as he wakes up, you see him fiddling around just a bit. And eventually, from his, like, cargo shorts...
No, one.
What?
I'm going to tell him, if you break out of those cuffs, I will snap your jaw.
He's just, like, kind of still shifting around. He definitely hears what you have said.
Dorian, now that
And,
he's awake, you might consider reading his rights again now that he can hear them.
I don't want to read him again.
So, as this is all happening, he pulls out from his cargo shorts. Like, you can definitely tell that it is a Eastern-influenced, like, survival knife that appears to be made in the shape of a tanto.
God damn it.
And he flicks it out and immediately just starts, like, trying to, I don't know, trying to hurt Dog with it, but he's wearing armor. So he's just kind of, like, sticking the tip into the plates and just being like, fucking bullies, you'll never take me alive. And he's
Am
just
I in
like
this vehicle?
poking him with it. Yes.
Am I in this? Okay, I'm just
Alright,
gonna look
well-
back at him and just say, cease or die, and use intimidate.
Was that 25 your intimidate?
Yep.
He drops the knife immediately and, like, puts both of his hands, like, crossed in his lap and is just like, okay, I'll behave now.
Don't worry, that was only an
So-
extra assault charge on your fucking record.
So, Dog is just going to pick
You
up
have
the
a bunch
knife.
of little scratch marks on your armor now.
Dog is just going to pick up the knife that he dropped, pull out his knife, and compare the two.
Oh, what knife do you have?
Just a survival knife.
Aside from their different styles, you get a sense that they are made using the same process and are basically the equivalent items.
He's just gonna stick it in his pocket.
Fair. You gain another survival knife.
Cool.
This may
He
or
looks
may
like
not
he looks like he wants to comment on it, but like he just doesn't.
Listen, Normally when people do that, I punch them in the face. I have killed somebody by punching them in the face. Think about that for a moment.
Yeah, alright.
I feel bad for this guy for some fucking reason.
I don't.
Neither do I, really.
Yeah.
He brought it on himself.
I am not going to comment on anything and just keep driving.
I'm just saying that was my grandma's car. My grandma should be the one in my spot, not me.
You should have went to court.
Well, were you the one?
I'm not supposed to go to court. I didn't commit a crime.
Well, were you the one driving the car?
No.
I think you pulled a fucking knife on us. And
Do
after that, I don't care
do
who- I don't know what
I
your
do
fucking
I
story
even
is.
need to sense motive that?
No.
Right. Well, you might want to
Bad
work
liar is bad.
on. You might want to work on your lying problem too.
What if? Okay, let's work something out. What if I give you something?
I'm just gonna look back at him and just
If you
in a
had the
really
money to
dangerous
pay us
tone.
off, and you would have had the money to pay your bail, there's
I'm-
nothing you have for us, Fatso.
I'm not going to be bribed.
What?
Would you like me to hand you a shovel so you can dig your hole deeper? Because that's what you're doing.
Would bribing a bounty hunter be considered bribing a law enforcement
Yeah,
officer?
I don't mean to be mean, but can we establish who's actually in this car right now? Because I'm driving. You just
I'm
said
the passenger.
you just said Sal was also in the car. Darian's in the car
Passenger.
next to the fucking guy.
We will assume that
Oh.
it is Cell, Ankos, Darian, and fucking I don't know. 447 is driving, and
Yes.
somehow you have crammed this guy into this vehicle.
Okay.
I
He's just,
imagine it's like
he's
that
lying in
scene.
the floorboards or sitting crunched up against the window.
Fair
I
enough.
just imagine he sat in like the little bitch seat in the middle between the two back seats. He's just scrunched up between
Yeah,
their shoulders.
he's scrunched up between Ankos and Darian.
Okay, well, my Galaxy of Fantasy account has like 2,000 credits worth of video games on it and items, and we could sell those off, and I could give you, do you guys take prepaid game cards?
Listen, guy, maybe if you have that kind of money just hanging around in your video games or whatever the fuck, maybe you should have used that money to pay off your bail so we wouldn't be coming after you.
I didn't commit a crime, so...
Uh-huh, okay, yeah.
Why don't you just
Sure.
give me the password and I'll let you go.
Really?
I turn my head towards dog before turning my head back towards the road, and I just keep driving towards
This is
them.
like the most sarcastic tone that I can, but I want to see if he actually does it.
Give me a bluff check, even if you're
Alright.
untrained. If it's a trained skill or not, I don't know.
I don't
thank
think
you.
it's trained.
Bluff is
no.
not.
Wow!
Shit.
Wow!
Shit.
So, as you say that, his eyes, like, narrow for a second, and you can tell he's utilizing every single bit of his video game scamming techniques, and he is judging your character, and he rolls a 6.
Oh.
I
Nice.
don't want to say my password out loud.
Is this
I'm gonna pull out a
Wow,
is
piece
this
of paper.
pathetic.
is this really what we're bartering over right now?
I'm gonna pull out like a piece of paper or something so that he can write it down to hand it to Dog. I know you're fucking bullshitting. You're gonna turn this guy in anyways.
But did you say that out loud?
No.
Okay. Well, he takes up the piece of paper, and he jots down something.
Actually,
He
hold
goes-
on. Let me see if I actually can figure out if you're bullshitting or not. Nope, I don't know.
Christ. So, yeah, no, you hand him the paper, he writes down something, and then he hands it over to Dog. Dog, do you know anything about culture?
Nope.
Then you have no idea what this means.
Alright, this is going to be proof and evidence in court that you tried to bribe an official.
Oh, assault and bribery. Oh man.
Do you think we're gonna
Oh,
hire?
you poor idiot.
Do you think we're gonna hire bounty off of that?
We could try.
I mean, if if he's got more charges on him, that means maybe his bail will go up, and maybe we'll get paid more based off of his bail.
Hey, Chester, keep talking. I want to see if we can make your price tag go up higher.
He just immediately, like, shuts his mouth.
So what is this fantasy or whatever game? Fucking I don't know. I don't play that shit.
I swear to God, I've heard the name before, but I can't. I don't know.
Is that some kind of training war game simulator for hardened criminals?
I don't know.
I'm not saying anything.
You just did.
Fuck.
I know exactly what it is. I'm not saying anything though. It's just a fucking nerd game.
So, is this all that passes between you?
I guess. I don't have anything else
I'm
to
gonna
say.
whisper under my breath, "Fucking nerd."
Well, that is a rude remark, and I think it is awfully prejudiced. I think you're just...
Listen, a long time ago, I knew a pretty fucking cool guy that played that game. You're not him.
You mean to tell me this man is a nerd?
This man's a giant fucking nerd.
We prefer to be called technologically literate.
That doesn't make any sense. I don't think nerds have bounties on their heads. Isn't this man a car thief?
He's a nerd with poor decision making.
So,
Low
are
intelligence.
you going to go and turn him into the FR?
Of course.
You
When
go
has
out
Dog
and you do
never
so.
turned somebody in?
You bring this guy through the front gates, and he is immediately relieved from your arm. The attendant is already in the means of, like, processing your transaction.
Just so you know, this guy also, like, tried to bribe us. I don't know if that makes his crimes worse, but, like, I think you should stay away.
She puts both of her hands up and just goes, "You're not technically an official. So
Damn
whatever
it.
passes between the both of you passed."
We could probably press charges on him for assault, but
Yeah, he also did try to stab me, but it didn't work.
Isn't that just an occupational hazard?
I mean, it is, but, like,
In the eyes of the
you can
law.
mark that he's dangerous now.
Suppose so, but that is in your job description. So here you are, a compensation of 300 credits. Goodbye, leave this place.
What was the password on this thing anyway?
You don't know.
I
Yeah,
know.
you don't have it, Doug has
So
it.
once we're all gathered, I propose that we all, like, get a pot together and throw in as much money as we're willing to as we can donate to getting this vehicle. We should
I say we wait till after the gala, so that way we can just dish it up evenly between
we should
every party member.
we should start like allocating funds now. The gala is not going to necessarily pay anything.
Who wants to be in charge of what's getting allocated where?
So there's a second between all of you before you immediately, like, hear the chirping in each of your comm units, and it's just kind of like, I will.
I say we dump that 300 immediately into the pot. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
You know, these binders, I should buy a few more of them. I got, like, one left. They're not too expensive. Do you mind if I take it out of that?
If we're going to need them, then you should.
I mean, I'd rather not somebody actually try to stab me with both their hands free.
Do what you've got to do.
Alright, well, at 5 each, I'm just going to buy 5.
Okay.
So take 25 out of the 300.
So yeah, effectively we're getting paid $275 for this then. So right now we have $275 to put towards that vehicle.
I'm gonna put 275 myself.
I will
Okay.
put 250.
$275.
I'll put another 250 as well.
250. Okay, I'll go ahead and put 203 towards it. Which will leave
I'll
me
do
with
a flat
one.
200
Okay,
for
flat
now, and then we'll see how much we get whenever we get that job done.
200. Vaku, have you spoken up to donate anything yet or no?
I said 250.
Okay, I have that. All right. Okay. All right.
as a show of good faith, I'll throw like another 25 in there. But I really don't have a lot of money.
That's no big deal.
What does that put us at now?
Okay, I have 7. I have 7 donations, which means we have all put money in the pot, unless Dog wants to put any money in outside of that shit we just made.
I suppose 100 out of the personal funds.
Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and add up what we have pooled here real quick.
Make sure you deduct it from your currencies.
Yes, I did that
I've
already.
already
I
done
did that
so.
already for myself.
I just did that.
So we are sitting at 1,578
I
Not
only
bad.
have 80 credits, and I'm gonna need that for food.
with the trade-in value of that buggy. We are only going to end up paying, I think it was 1,975. So
1,950 is what you agreed upon.
oh, okay, very well. Which means we're only going to need to save up 372 more credits.
It's pretty good. We're gonna get this a lot faster than I thought.
Oh yeah.
So, what about this gala?
yeah, that. So
You
As
are
part of
basically 2-3 days out at this point.
we are well on our way to getting that vehicle.
yes, we are. As for my business, I still have to go to this party and try to cozy up to this CEO that's obstructing my investigation. I need to find information on him, but
after
I
we're
haven't
done
had a good
after
opportunity
we're
to do
done
so.
discussing this, I'd like to go back into the FRN and see if they have any bounties for about 400.
Who is the
Well-
CEO you're talking about?
Stursk.
Would I know
Um,
anything? If he's like a major in the syndicate, would I know anything about it through my family's?
You can give me a culture check.
Oh, okay.
Can't remember
If
if
you
I'd
have
ever
it.
done.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Yeah, Bulvac Stursk, CEO of Stormcast Innovations, and he's the one that's blocking my investigation on the Terraformer and shit.
You definitely have heard of Stursk before. He was definitely present in like the northeastern hemisphere, almost above your family's territory. That being said, you don't know much other than like he definitely was in cahoots with Stormcast Innovations. And that's basically all the information that your detective has.
Okay. And do you know what kind of gala this is going to be?
I just know it's going to be a formal event with some of the other, I guess, influential business tycoons of the city and a few other bootlickers.
Have you been working on particularly how to comport yourself? The general, who else is going? Because the crowd is obviously as important as the person you're actually going to
I
investigate.
quite frankly don't give a single solitary fuck about the crowd. I care about Stursk.
Well, if he's a man that particularly rules in these sorts of, let's just say society, you won't be getting close to him unless you can, play the game.
I just need to know enough about him to interest him, which is what I've been working on, but I haven't had enough time really to myself to conduct proper intelligence.
Hmm.
I need to go to a public records office and try and find some dirt on him and see where his name's been popping up. More importantly, to find out where his allegiances are, because he has no rightful reason to be trying to waylay our investigation like he has. It's suspicious behavior. I need to find out why he's doing it. That's the entire point of the gala, is I need to try to cozy up to him.
So what is the group decision as of now?
Well, since
We could probably go back in and look at the fucking bounty board real quick to make sure that there's nothing else we could do in case we need more cash.
Yeah, I mean, we could check to see if there's one more easy job.
I want to see if we can get a 400 credit bounty in and just shore up our fucking funds for this vehicle.
Hell, something even a little dangerous probably would be in our wheelhouse.
Yeah, I'd be willing to go on take a bit of risk here.
Yeah.
So, you all are going to go ahead and begin pouring through some of these archives and trying to see if you can't pick up a more dangerous bounty.
Yeah, a little more dangerous, a little bit better paying.
Who wants to lead this search? Because you're having to talk with your contacts in the FRN and kind of establish, I'm looking for something a bit above the belt.
So do you
I
want
can help with
do you
some
want
talks.
perception, diplomacy, or
I would probably say it would be diplomacy.
I can help with that.
I can do some talking. Do.
So, with
You know,
your
I'm
con-
trained in diplomacy, but I have a negative. I have a negative in fucking diplomacy.
that's
Hilarious.
impressive.
That is very hilarious.
Nice.
So, you all go ahead and start kind of like pouring through all of these archival results, and it looks like most of the big dangerous people in this region have kind of like dug in deep and dark, and it'd probably take maybe months to even find them. But what you do instead find is this FRN also has a subsidiary company that deals with essentially an environmental bounty board, more dealing in local events rather than individual people. You pour through and you find that there are a number of individual reports that seem to indicate that there are dangerous animals in the area that need to be taken care of.
Okay. That's worth. I think that's worth it.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like a horrible idea.
So, you guys go ahead and look through the majority of these until there are a variety of different ones, especially in this region where in the outskirts you can find a lot of really fucking scary shit. You find stuff that is essentially along the lines of a simple pest control that doesn't pay that much. Actual sincere threats that need to be taken care of, and then there are like legendary mythic things, kind of like legends, like there is, the death from above, or there is the grinding rocks, or something, basically an animal that has an actual like name and story behind it.
So I'm not entirely sure we are well equipped to go after fucking legendary animals. So let's just go after the mid-range. These things are a threat that need to be dealt with animals.
Right. So, you pour through all of these things, and eventually, you manage to dig up that there appears to be some kind of a local problem. Caravans are being attacked, but nothing is actually being stolen out of them. Nothing of a note. Researching further into the matter seems to indicate that whatever this creature is basically searching for, and it is definitely a creature based on the damage reports of claws and teeth, it almost seems to be collecting and hoarding technological items. But it is strong enough that it is attacking reasonably sized convoys and getting out before it is aptly seen.
Does this sound it? Well, no, that couldn't be it.
Do we know what time of day this creature attacks?
There are reports of similar things happening during the daytime, but most of the occurrences happen at night.
Where about is this animal attacking?
This would be in the southern portion of the fucking... God, it would be me to forget my own region. This would be the southern regions of Drovania.
Okay.
In other words, actually kind of near, your starting town of Kiliad.
About how many days travel do you think it'd be? Like, just looking at maps and stuff like that.
With the vehicle situation that you currently have, maybe in the range of a day and a half to investigate the site.
A day and a half
Definitely
to
not enough
investigate.
time.
Who knows how
And
long to kill it?
That's stopping to, like, track it down.
And then we'd have to fucking kill it and then take a day and a half to get back, and we probably missed the gala.
Yeah, I would have to abstain from this trip to meet my own timelines.
And if we're going to be that far apart, then that means we'd potentially suffer repercussions from... Or actually, Hooper in particular would suffer repercussions from, I guess...
I would probably be
distance.
unpersoned, yes.
Yeah, we might have to wait until after the gala to go after this one.
Okay, so now with that whole gala thing, maybe
But
we
if
could
there's
start...
if there's gonna be a few days until the gala, I want to do something that can at least make us some money in the meantime.
Most of the simple, like, people that have just kind of, like, skipped bail are already being hunted by different people.
That's understandable. So, what if we all just spend the day walking around the city, keeping an ear out, looking for like minor jobs we can do while we wait for the gala to happen?
Sounds good.
We can come back to this creature that is in the southern region of Drovania later once the gala is over.
So, if all of you want to go ahead and make some money on the side, do you have any profession checks you want to use?
Well, I do have profession soldier. I don't know if I could use that to make money though.
I mean,
I
security
have-
guard.
I have what is it? Profession doctor.
I have noble. I don't know if that just means I'm good at,
I would say
business
that's
affairs?
definitely more like social oriented. For a noble, you'd probably be like a consultant or something.
What do you think my profession is?
There is a profession
do you-
bounty hunter in the game.
Do you have profession bounty hunter?
Yes.
It would literally just be doing minor gigs for bounty hunting.
I mean,
What do I roll about?
I don't really have a profession. I mean, I have it marked as a skill, but like I don't have
You don't have
anything
any
in
points
it.
in it.
Yeah.
Then making minor money as the days pass probably isn't in your nature. You're definitely more of like a event or gig kind of person.
Yeah.
Probably best to just stick with others.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to make a? Do you want us to make rolls?
Well, yes, I would like you to go ahead and make a roll, and then I would like you to divide the result by 7.
I guess I will just see if there are any minor problems that can be solved with a man and his gun.
Could I use not my
3.
profession, but just pure engineering to
You
find
said divide by
things
7,
to-
right?
Yes.
What
I got a
even
3.
is my profession anyway? It's just like.
Well, if you don't have a profession skill, you don't have like an off-duty profession.
Yeah,
So-
mine's a stupid fucking number with a long
You said
decimal
divided
point.
by 7.
Yeah, divided by 7 because these typically represent a week's worth of work.
Mm.
So, spending the rest of tomorrow, Timothy Thomas, you volunteer at a homeless clinic. You manage to make 2 credits just kind of helping off at the side. Darian, using your bounty hunting techniques, you point out some things in the FRN and offer some general assistance to others and end up making a single credit's worth. Celtegris, by
Stock
acting
market.
as a noble consultant, you start working a little bit in some of the social networks that you're used to in this area, trying to keep your identity secret. You end up making 3 credits for the day. And 447, some individual just needs a short escort, and you end up making 1.
Fair enough.
I would like to use my time trying
Actually,
to...
real quick, whatever I had just told you, double that.
Okay, 2 credits.
That's 6.
Woo! 4 credits. Yeah.
It's all right. We needed to find a way to pass time until the gala anyway.
Yeah, I would like to spend this time poring over public records and local news snippets as well as company documents I can get a hold of to try and find any piece of information I can about Stursk.
we-
I will do a...
Go on.
Do
I'm
you
sorry.
have culture and ghosts?
Yes, I do.
Make a culture check.
You
24. What information are you looking for in particular to Stursk? What kind of dirt do you want from him?
Let me see. I want to see if there's been any corroboration or links between him and old noble houses.
So,
As a side gig, I'd like to do pursuit into interests and hobbies of his.
fair enough. What you do find that relates to Stursk is that back during the recovery periods of this war, and even previously, his father was deeply embedded with the various houses that fall under the banner of Draconis. It seemed like they were making friends even before the war started. And as the father passed on his company, he continued with these affiliations and contacts, and it appears that he is deeply embedded with pretty much every single one of the houses, including Draconis.
So so that does kind of support the theory of if the terraformers were sabotaged because of the old houses, he could be trying to cover that information up.
Perhaps. Is there anything else you want to know about Stursk?
Yeah, interests and hobbies, things that I could use as talking points with them.
So, from what you are capable of telling, Sturst takes an interest in ancient technology. He also has a fairly, like, flight of fancy interest in art and sculptures, as well as, he seems to have a fine appreciation of, like, old alcohol, keeping in mind that he is a CEO and is used to being able to afford such commodities.
I doubt I have the. I definitely don't have the background to keep up with such tastes of his. I might have to see about learning something about one of these topics and sticking to it if I need a conversation point with him. You know what? The ancient machinery would be an interesting one. Does he have any? Has he made any big ticket purchases, like acquiring antique items that are known to the planet that I could use as a bit of a talking point?
So, something that you actually do peek out is that in terms of ancient technology, he seems to, in terms of recent collections, he seems to be buying a, like, disproportionate amount of ancient jewelry. And whilst you're not certain how that correlates to just technology, you get a sense that he definitely knows something about these trinkets that others do not.
If nothing else, this would be the appropriate conversation topic to broach if I wanted to talk about, let's say, the terraformers.
Yeah, he is picking up various minor odds and ends, but for the most part, he is picking up on, like, essentially ancient jewelry from the region.
Hey, what
Okay.
about that fucking pendant, that House Morphus pendant?
Yeah.
I guess I could use that as a collectible starter item that I could keep on me.
Yeah, I'll hand it to you.
Yeah, I could use this potentially as a conversation piece. I'll wear the damn thing.
Anything else that you're interested in?
So let me just make sure that I'm getting my premise right for his involvement, because it's been quite a few sessions since we talked about this man last. He's the CEO of Stormcast, and the entire reason why we're interested in him is because of the fact that he has been stopping us from investigating the terraformers and getting onto them, right?
Essentially, he's preventing an investigation from taking place.
Okay.
It is on the grounds that bothering their technicians only slows the process.
Okay. I just want to make sure I have my premise completely squared away. Let me see. Ties, interests. Any family?
Not on this planet.
Okay. Well, that's about all I can. That's about all I think I can glean from this.
Fair enough. I will say, if you are willing to spend a minor amount of credits, you may be getting, maybe capable of getting just a little bit more.
What do you consider a minor amount of credits?
I would probably say 50.
Sure. Why not?
So,
Could probably write it off as an expense too.
by passing money to the right people and the right corners and the right places, you get some information on the gala, actually. So, you recall that the slug told you that there was a lot of radio chatter going on recently?
Mm-hmm.
Passing off to one of the off-duty guards on a military outpost informs you that the actual, like, invited guests, the people that showed up spontaneously, they are starships that show noble crests.
Huh.
Which essentially means that important guests that fall under the banner of House Draconis are visiting this gala tonight.
Old fallen factions are regrouping on this planet at this gala. Do I know anything about the possibility of a terraformer being weaponized?
You're not really an engineer.
I want to ask Yarich about this. This is a crazy conspiracy theory, but what if maybe one of the reasons why they are keeping us away from them is because they have nefarious needs or nefarious purposes behind them?
So, Yarich, do you want to give me an engineering check?
Sure. Come on.
They create a crisis so they can come swooping in to fix it. God damn.
Nice.
So, in particular,
For the recording, that was a 30.
According to your profession, in terms of ancient and unknowable technologies, there are tales aplenty of Seccaro of these strange esoteric machinery being used to cause havoc in places. And as for a terraforming facility, you personally can see no more destructive weapon than something that is capable of permanently altering the atmosphere.
I'm going to say
Oh.
this. We're working with terraformers, yes?
That is correct.
What do terraformers do?
No, I understand. If you're telling me that it can happen, then I trust your judgment.
Depends.
I don't. This is an
With how-
absolute worst case doomsday scenario, but
Oh,
I have to
So-
wonder if maybe they wanted to try to take the planet back by weakening it even further.
Where's this conversation happening? Is this something the whole party can hear, or
I assume that this
Yeah.
is during the day that you guys are all engaging in your minor professions. You've grouped up at the end of the day, and after your archival work, you are essentially chatting with everyone.
okay?
Yeah.
So you mean
So-
to tell
If
me
this is a situation that we think might have a problem, do you not think we might have to alert the syndicate? Like,
well,
that's a serious
This is a conspiracy theory right now. I have nothing to action off of. I'm just trying to imagine the worst possible case scenarios.
but the facts are a terraforming device could be used to make an entire planet uninhabitable.
Who would reason to believe that if it can make a planet habitable, it can reverse the process? I'm assuming during a terraforming process that if there was mistakes that they've made, they can go back and start from a previous point, right? I'm gonna look towards Yarich.
yes, but it also depends on the type of technology, and these terraformers on this world is very, very, and I'm going to say this one more time, very powerful.
Also, these machines have been down for a very long time. I almost want to think that if they wanted them to work again, then they would be working.
How recently
Or maybe
did...
they're just not work. They are working.
They've been down for decades.
Wait,
I thought they said they were malfunctioning, not completely down. Like they just
No,
weren't working
they're
like they
down.
were used to.
They were sabotaged, potentially. We don't know why, but whenever the Syndicate first invaded, the terraformers went offline. It's speculated that one of two things happened. Either the houses destroyed the terraformers in a scorched earth tactic to keep the Syndicate from taking the planet, or to make it harder on them, or B, it was the Syndicate trying to soften the planet for them to take it. I think the second option is less logical, because the Syndicate wouldn't want to take a dead and dying planet. If I understand that there's the concept of paving the way, but permanently hampering the planet's atmosphere and ecosystem and making it a less tempting prize at no initial benefit seems stupid to me.
everything, all the house lords that hated, like, even the one that hated Kiliad, has to wanted to see this planet burn. Literally, burn. Die.
Zacharias didn't want the planet to burn, but Jackson sure as hell did.
Well, I'm not talking about Zacharias. He seems cool.
Zacharias was
Even
Zacharias
Jackson
was the true
didn't
leader
want
there.
the entire planet to burn.
No, he wanted
gone.
he did want the planet. I mean, as far as the planet itself, he seemed to want it restored, but the people on it he hated with a passion, especially those of Kiliad.
Seemed to me
Hold on,
he
with his-
primarily hated Kiliad.
Yarich is going to look over to Sal with his otherworldly quote in quotation marks nature. Would he be able to survive in habits that would kill us?
I
Would
don't know.
I?
Listen, we're going too far on a tangent on something I'm only lightly entertaining here. I was just asking a question. Let's save the doomsday conspiracies for if we have more substantial.
Hearing that a terraforming device can render an entire planet uninhabitable has given me ideas.
I need to establish a solid motive for this, though. The only
It's
solid
giving me
motive I can-
ideas of how to sabotage it.
I
Just
have
joking.
I have to wonder how bitter these old houses are at losing all of their territory to the Syndicate, and if they'd be willing to completely axe an entire planet just to send a message.
Nothing I'm thinking about regards current events.
Would I know? Would I know? Would I know anything about that? Like specifically that? Would I know the households would be that vindictive?
So, Timothy, do you have culture?
Oh yeah, I have a pretty good
Roll
culture.
me a culture.
Yeah, let me find it. I mean, it's
You
okay.
were around back then, so the DCs will be okay. So, what you know, point blank face value information, what happened during that war was essentially House Baldur pushing its boundaries with the Syndicate and then getting curb stomped whenever, the Syndicate actually responded to their threat seriously. The other houses falling under Draconis basically told House Baldur, you are on your own, this is your mistake. Essentially, they told their subsidiary, vassal house, that this has no interest to the rest of the Empire and only serve to hurt the kingdoms of House Draconis.
If you're gonna fuck around, you're gonna find out.
Well, the
That being said, though,
attendance
you
list.
do know that the surviving nobles that actually made it off-planet definitely did flee to the other houses, and they were welcomed with open arms.
So wait, this was a case of one single planet of the noble houses getting too big for their britches, getting the shit kicked out of them, then getting abandoned by the rest of the noble houses for doing it. Right?
Yeah.
That is correct information.
That does change the angle on this. If... Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. So maybe, potentially, if Stursk had ties with House Baldur and he's still sour about being abandoned, I wonder if he's using this gala as an excuse to get all the traitors close to him for him to do something to them. That really doesn't have anything to do with the terraformers, honestly, unless... God.
You
There's
think
too
it
many.
could be a massive assassination attempt?
I don't know. There is a lot of variables up in the air right now, and I don't like this.
Could use one of those terraformers in a localized way to kill off.
No, I don't think that.
No. A terraformer, if it's too wide a scale. Trying to use one to kill a specific group would be stupid. It'd be like using a hand grenade to kill one ant.
Yeah, using a terraformer, you could enact a genocide on an entire people.
What if not just that, but what if he's trying to, say, bring people in to do his old grudges, but at the same time maybe attempt to wrestle power back?
I'm almost thinking that what I would really like to do more than anything is to go find answers myself. I'd like to look at this equipment, or maybe even potentially go bug the manor before the gala. Oh, God, that would be extremely illegal, though. If I get caught doing any of that, I would be most likely losing my badge and my job, but I now have conspiracies in my head that I'm having a hard time shaking.
Why don't you go talk about it with your...
Yeah, I should probably talk to Uvok about this stuff. He might be interested in hearing some of the crazy shit I'm coming up with, and hopefully he'll talk me out of it.
Are you going to get in contact with Uvan?
Yeah.
I assume that you're arranging some small-scale diner because Uvan is always hungry.
Yes. Big lizard man consumes lots of calories.
Any of the rest of the party going?
Sure, I would like to go.
Stick around.
Sure, why not?
I would like to go because we're talking about technological equipment, and my character is probably the best.
I mean, if we're all going, then I don't want to fucking get damaged by not going with the party, so I guess I'll tag
you won't
along.
get damaged for a single night.
Okay, in that case, it's a small diner that's supposed to be between Ankos and one of his friends. I'm gonna hang back.
Before, before we do all this stuff for
yeah.
me, though, I did say that somebody wants me to be somewhere at 6 to help them out.
Yes. We'll be done by 6.
Well, I know, but, I need to be there at 6, which means I need to
what
leave,
time?
15 minutes early, and I need to, shower and change. So what I'm saying is I kind of have to get up now, unfortunately, at no fucking want of my own.
That is unfortunate.
I'm pissed off that this son of a bitch didn't tell me he wanted this help until just now, because I had agreed to help him prior on a different day, and now he's wanting to help this day. So, I don't know. I'm kind of fucked.
How do we want to arrange this, then?
So, how about this? In character, we'll just say that my character goes off to meet Uvan by himself, or I go off to do my own thing, and the rest of the party can... How about this? I'm just gonna go for a walk in the fucking park to collect my thoughts, and the rest of the party can have their time to do their stuff. Maybe go bounty hunting until the next couple days. My only request is that we don't advance the plot too far, because I don't want to get like joined back, next Saturday and be like, oh yeah, by the way, 3 days passed and we're in the middle of the gala. Have fun.
Yeah, in that case, I would probably give the rest of our party a single day to coordinate their affairs. That way, we still have a day
Okay.
until the gala.
I'm so sorry for doing this to you guys,
Sure, okay.
but fucking life. Y'all have a fun one. I'll see you later.
See you, Hooper.
Is there any minor business that anyone wants to take care of?
I kind of closed mine out, so, well, already in the previous session, so I don't really have a lot to do until, gala. And even then, I don't know if I'm going to be able to participate too much into that. Maybe do something on the side.
Hearing about those terraformers put an idea in my head. I'm no good at research, as I found out recently. Your Reach, would you accompany me to the library?
Okay.
So, you all are going to visit an archive.
I am.
I'm just going to pop up onto the bed and just kind of take a nap.
Fair enough.
I imagine Tim Tom hearing about conspiracies with House Draconis. So just like itching something in the back of his head that he can't, like a scratch in the back of his head he can't quite get.
Yeah, your Reach and I are going to the archives.
Do you want to do anything with that information, Timothy?
I'll go with them. I'll go with the
Alright.
the others.
I would definitely need help, because while I'm good at computers, I might have to use, because Levi's been using culture to look up things.
Last time I used perception.
If you are visiting the archive, you are, like, physically looking for information. Okay. That being said, if you want to make an intelligence-based knowledge check, you can.
If there are computers there, couldn't engineering or computers be used to search for information?
I'm going to say that, like, let me quickly take a look at this. Operate, manipulate, and hack into computer systems. Yeah, I'll allow you to use your computer skill.
Okay. So, when we're at the archives, I'm going to explain the situation to your Reach. It's here that I've been trying to find out information about what happened to Concordia. All I've learned is that they all died 1.5 thousand years ago. And that's all I know. I don't know how it happened, and I don't know what made Concordia uninhabitable, other than that it was the hollowed court, but I don't know by what means. I want you to use your computer skills to try and find an answer.
Alright, I'm going to search through computers, mark out the irrelevant data that would just clog up the searches and all that type of stuff. And woo!
So, with a total of almost a 30, you continue to look through all of these archived events. What in particular are you looking for?
Specifically, the ways the Hollow Court was fighting Concordia.
Like how exactly the planet of Concordia was made uninhabitable.
Exactly.
So, you managed to find historical documentation, essentially independent researchers who have looked into the past of Concordia and determined how exactly it was brought low. Considering that this happened nearly a millennia ago, the information is pretty sparse. But what you do pick up on in terms of facts is that Concordia was alerted to a hollow presence, or a hallowed presence. They were given time to evacuate, and then the Hallowed Court's Golden Armada arrived and scoured Concordia of all life.
Scoured. So...
What does that mean, though? What did they do with their ships that 1,500 years later the planet still isn't habitable?
I'm going to search up images of Concordia now.
You go ahead and attempt to find any modern information about Concordia. And the images that you find are pale rock and metal. It is literally stripped of any biological life. In fact, even the oceans appear to have vanished.
So, the big thing, does it look like sun bleached?
Sunbleached is a strange word. Are you saying, is it burned?
Like, all, not just, so it's pale like the moon type bleach.
It is essentially pale rock, yes. There
Alright.
is a variation, but for the most part it is a rocky, barren planet.
I'm going to search up, does Concordia still have a magnetic field?
As far as you are aware, the planet still retains a magnetic field, yes.
Okay. So, sure. They might have had to use some sort of technology to specifically wipe out life, because this is strange. I've not seen something like this. It's like as if there was no magnetic field to protect the ground.
Does this look like the work of some terraforming devices to you?
Either that or something that just stops organisms from being able to. Basically, it amplifies chaos and entropy to such a degree that nothing can stay organized and it breaks apart.
And they did this with just their ships.
I will say,
That seems
with such a amazing computer check, I will allow you to recover a archival file that is essentially a static-ridden example of what happened to Concordia. Like, it was taken by a automated station, and somehow that file has survived nearly a millennia intact and not completely corrupted.
A little over a millennia, honestly.
Yeah,
1500.
definitely almost a millennia and a half.
Yeah, exactly.
alright. I'm going to look up this file and see what type of what they did.
So, what you find, kind of interlaced by so much static that it's almost hard to see it, but the pale dots of a fleet of starships that is almost definitely like mind-boggling. Like, there are a ton just kind of in orbit, and this satellite is only seeing them by like, basically, it is magnifying this footage to the point where you can barely make them out. There are a lot of interlaced radio chatters that appear to have been stitched together, but one of them cuts above all of the others. It makes references to arriving to this place in accordance to its lord, and in fealty to the Pale King, and by the grace of his empire. They basically are committing this world to death.
Something about a pale king.
Well, I'm sure we can both hear this, right?
Yeah, you're all listening to this video footage and kind of watching. But upon signing this death warrant, many of the ships begin to brighten. And almost overwhelmingly so, their armada begins to almost outshine their native star. And in sheer burning radiant beams that impact the planet, begin to scour it from the surface, carving marks across the planet.
As someone who fought against these people before, have I seen something like this fighting against the Hallowed?
You were fortunate enough to not participate in many of the losing campaigns against the Hollowed Court, but there were ghost tales of them stripping planets bare. If you're looking at this, you can definitely tell that this is one of those cases.
Then the stories were true. I'm gonna slam my fist on the table. I'm going to kill every single last one of those monsters.
Who's the Pale King?
I've never heard of that.
Yarich is going to crack his fingers and begin up a new search over who is this quote-unquote Pale King must have.
God damn it, Morty.
So, go ahead and give me a separate computers check, and this will be your last entry for the day.
Oh!
My god, man. So, what you are capable of discovering about the Pale King involves basically a lot of things about his empire, because that's mostly where a lot of his progress can be seen. What actually intrigues you is that most of the Hallowed Court does not actually have origins on the material plane. In fact, most of them are interplanar invaders, as far as you can deduce. Before even the formation of Concordia, or before even the formation of the Syndicate, obviously. There were definitely scouts and outposts and tendrils that stretched out and expanded his empire. But always, just kind of out of reach, the Pale King has always remained elusive. Pretty much nothing is known about him aside from the fact that he is venerated as essentially a god amongst their, well, citizens.
I suspect this quote-unquote Pale King is some sort of either outsider or a cover for basically a cult.
That's what they were. They were an overgrown cult with an armada. That's what we were fighting, their zealotry. That's what led to this!
Well, I do
Damn
not like this one bit.
I never suspected they were actually capable of this. This was just a ghost story, but it actually happened.
Yarich is going to save this video.
And it didn't just happen, but to the
his
homeworld.
Datapad. So, this is good evidence to never forget, not to, well, hold on. I'm going to search for modern times about the Pale King, see what
Surface level information, because we are done with inquiries for the day. You managed to figure out that the actual Hollowed Court is but a fractured version of what it once was, but even still the Syndicate tends to avoid confrontation with them. Because of the sheer advancedness of their ancient technology, they are still a powerhouse, even in their broken state. And in terms of their leadership, there are definitely plenty of cases where it appears that the Pale King has disappeared from their society. No one really knows what happened to him.
Well, the Pale King is seemingly gone, at least.
It doesn't make a difference. They still exist and they haven't paid for what they've done.
Well, that's something to work on, I guess. But for now, let's regroup. But this video, Yari has already downloaded it to his data pad to just kind of keep for reference for him and the Centurion, my tongue.
Centurion.
Yes, 447. Well, at least we got clear images. What seems to be what I heard was called glassing, but this does not look bad.
It was just a rumor. I didn't know they could actually do it, but they did.
Well, let's head back to place.
There were people I knew on that planet. That was my fucking home.
Yari just gonna look around. Tim Tom? Tim Tom.
Yeah.
What you been searching up?
I imagine Tim Tom's been looking up like old, like after action reports, battle plans on how the Syndicate actually, like how battles that he wasn't a part of, how the Syndicate fought at the House Boulder.
I see. So,
Also,
something-
guerrilla war tactics.
Do you want to make a culture check to try and uncover anything useful? Because I'll give you that.
Sure. Oh shit. Culture. No, fuck you, goddammit. No, do this. Sorry,
No, you're fine.
the wrong thing. Go fucking hit the button.
Oh.
Jesus Christ, dude, you're gonna make me give away all my secrets. Okay.
You know what's sad is this is probably burning all our luck till when we need it the most.
Oh yeah.
What you can uncover in your very deep and thorough search of the archived history of how the Syndicate actually won Zavo 3, it appears that it was kind of a combination of Baldor pride, but something that did occur almost halfway through the war, actually after you were pulled out, is that it seems that House Baldor was betrayed by an unknown insider, and their empire was effectively split in half, and they were divided and conquered fairly easily.
Yeah. You said unknown insider?
Yes.
With that nat 20, could I do a like look up conspiracy theories on how on what happened?
Let me use the restroom.
You discover that it was the International Society of Mole People beneath the service of Zavo 3. The damn moles. No.
Oh my god. It was them all along!
So,
You know too much, Tim Tom. Now you must die.
You just hear the sound of a shotgun getting racked 2 aisles over. I'll kill you before I die!
I will give you a luck roll. I will give you a, let's just do a 5% chance, because this pertains to the core property of a lot of things that I am covering up. And even if you succeed, I will not reveal to you the whole truth. But if we roll a 20 on this, I will reveal to you one thing.
The truth revealed. Damn.
That is a no.
Oh.
So, what you managed to uncover, searching through your archives and catalogs, is a lot of mischief and a lot of stuff that just seems to get, like, randomly interpreted. Like, essentially, oh, it's the government attempting to kill us off. They're trying to poison our water holes. That way we're dumber and more obedient to the government. And then there's the opposite side that's just like, these damn nobles are trying to kill us all and poison our water holes. They want to reclaim territory from the Syndicate, and it's all a massive plan to kill everything. That being said, does anybody else want to roll a 20 on a knowledge check to try and uncover secret DM plans?
I've
Can I roll
No,
to figure
I
out the
have-
mysteries of the
Yes,
universe?
actually, I do.
What skill check do you want to use? Do you have culture, dog?
I want to try and find out what this thing that the neckbeard gave me was.
Oh god. Alright, good. What check do you want to make?
I'm pretty sure I have nothing relevant here, so I'm just gonna roll a d20.
Excellent. I would say add your intelligence modifier, but your intelligence modifier is 0. My god, dude. So, Darian, you spend a pretty short while on these public computer terminals, punching in the password and just being like, alright, well, I'm gonna figure out what the hell this is. And eventually, you manage to uncover several disturbing websites that pertain to, like, degenerate topics, hence why he did not want to, like, say it out loud. And while you're doing so, everybody around you is witnessing what you are looking at.
What the fuck was this person doing with his spare time? For some reason, I think Sal would be into this. Hold on.
Are you just gonna get on a phone call with Sal?
You should just take a picture of what you're looking at and send it to Sal with no context.
Yeah, I think Dog is just going to think for a moment and just leave.
Yeah, understandable.
He's just going to leave, and the next time he sees Sal, he's going to give him the piece of paper.
So wait,
No
did everyone
context.
see him take a picture of this?
I didn't take a picture. I just walked off.
He didn't take a picture. He just left.
Like,
I said it would have been funny if he took a picture and sent it to you.
So, does anybody else have anything to do?
That's everything.
Nope.
Can I do something back at the apartment?
Having witnessed
Yeah, what
the
do you want to
fate.
do at the apartment?
As I said, I was gonna hop on the bed and I was going to begin meditation. I'm going to see if I can't figure out what more this Umbra can be used for. I want to. Would
Go
that
ahead
be
and give me a mysticism check. I will make this your daily activity. Oh my fucking God. You people. Alright. So, since we're going on this adventure now, you go ahead, sit down in your bed, just kind of cross-legged, and try your best to focus. And you start kind of delving through your consciousness, just trying to reveal what hidden truths might be lying under the fabric. What is it in particular that you want to learn? Because I need more concrete information.
I was wondering if I could probably convert, this Umbra into like, extra spells per day if I'm like in a pinch, even if there's like some sort of deficit or something along those lines.
You gain a sense that Umbra is more of a reactive thing, and it's not necessarily something that the individual can exploit. It's more like something that Aspect is dependent on.
Okay. So what limits are there in particular to it?
Well, let me just put it this way. As you are diving through all of these things, in fact, you managed to trick yourself into a trance so deep that you actually managed to, for lack of a better part, separate yourself from your conscious form. And you begin walking around in this sort of dark and creepy environment that almost reflects your own. And as you are searching and just trying to uncover the secrets of Umbra and what in particular you can do with it, walking through this bleak and desolate dimension in which you haven't ever met another living soul, whilst you are navigating these twisted confines and very open spaces, you find a singular individual sitting, currently dressed in a lab uniform, and is going through datapad after datapad currently sorted on the ground in front of her. He continues to tap on them and does not acknowledge your presence.
I'm assuming, can I make the inference that it's, Aspect? Or...
You try to get a sense of this individual's, core personality, and something about it doesn't register as Aspect to you.
I'm just going to kind of stride up and, keep a respectable distance and just be looking for something in particular.
Her head shoots up and just goes, "Oh, I didn't realize there was anyone else here. Hello."
Indeed. I had assumed this was my own head, but I think hearing voices or having other personalities be classified as insanity.
Interesting. I must say, you're fairly more intact than the other spectral things that I've seen here. Tell me, what is your name?
I'm going to just kind of, sense motive just to see if, there's, oh my god.
There is a dark presence behind this figure that tells you that it is looking at you with almost predatory eyes.
I'm just going to You can call me Sal for now. I did not
And
expect
you
a
can call me Nosk.
Nosk.
Dr. Nosk.
And that's the form of that scientist from the Majesty, right?
Not from the Majesty, but from the Celia. The Selena, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
The Voyager vessel.
You know, to be honest, I think I ran into some instances of you, I guess in the waking world at this point.
I tell, what did you find?
Outside of references, someone who was impersonating you.
Oh, please do elaborate.
To be honest, I would not be able to do much outside of them being to be honest, I can't even really give you an answer to that because I still don't know who the hell that was, or who the hell, or what it is.
She gets up and starts walking over to you.
I'm just going to, keep on guard.
So bringing almost a data pad as if to shield the in-between, starts walking around you and just kind of taking in, raking every detail in. So, you've managed to find your way here, of your own volition, of your own willpower. Isn't that interesting?
I was always curious, you could say, especially about new things of this subject, should we say.
Well then, tell me, dear friends, is there any way out?
I'm just going to, well, I assume for me and the means that I used to get here, I could reverse the process.
How did
Now,
you get out of here? At this point, she is crossing the boundary of personal space, is now entering, caution territory, getting too close.
have you just tried to will yourself out of here? That's how I assume I do so.
I have done many things in my attempt to leave.
I'm just going to kind of sit there, kind of, hand on my chin. Maybe it's... Do you have a corporeal form in the waking world?
Pauses to think for a moment, and if I do, I think it is long gone. I've been here for many years, you see.
That would make sense if you did not have, your original form.
But you still
However,
have your original form?
I'm just going to, everyone comes from somewhere. Now, perhaps this could be a subject of study. Particularly, I don't like the fact my mind being connected to someone else's. I could probably research this subject and see if there's a way of leaving wherever this is, but I have to know more about where the hell I am in the first place.
Well, then let's broker a deal. How about you teach me about how to leave, and I will teach you about this place.
Would that sense motive check still be in effect?
I've already given you the information for that sense motive check.
Okay, so it's still continuing on. It hadn't,
It seems to be hungering for information as if it were like a animal that was stalking something that does not belong here.
I'm just going to say, well, let's say, I'm just going to kind of think of it for a second and just say, perhaps a little, token to see if you aren't just, ignorant of what this place truly is and just saying whatever you need to get the information you need.
Then give
Little
me
tit
your
for tat.
query.
What exactly is this place? And considering I was hunting for a source of energy, and it led me here, what is this?
What I have been able to deduce, it is a repository.
A repository for what exactly?
For us. For beings like you and myself. We are trapped here, you and I.
Hmm. So, if drawing upon this energy, like I have done before, merely stems from this place, what limitations of this place have you found? Particularly being able to view out, been able to walk far, if there's any other things that populate this area.
She brings up her hand and just goes, tit for tat. I gave you one thing, now you give me another.
What is your question?
Where is your body?
As far as I know, sleeping. Well, meditating, should I say. 'Cause most people can't tell the difference.
That's not a lot to go off of. Where did you wake up?
You're gonna have to specify on that
Here,
here. I
in this
haven't really
place.
woken up. I'm just going to kind of look around a bit for a vague, sense of direction. I just like I walk straight towards you, so I'm gonna say like meters out that way is where I appeared.
Maybe
There's
it's
not
not
much.
tied to a place in this area. Maybe it's tied to you. Maybe if I just... And she reaches a hand forward to, touch.
You know, I'm not really much of a touchy sort just yet. As I said, tit for tat.
I assume that you back off.
Yeah.
There's definitely this sense of frustration that bubbles up behind that thin veneer of a mask.
I'm assuming you were a scientist, considering what I found of you. Is it not wise to perhaps analyze what's going on before we make rash decisions?
Don't patronize me. You have no more information than I do here. We're both trapped.
And yet, considering the fact that I have figured out a way to get here and presumably leave, I'm probably your best source of trying to figure this out. And if I can figure this out, maybe perhaps I can get you out of here at some point, but I have a feeling I may be visiting this place every now and then, so I can share my research upon this subject at least.
You talk a lot. But that's not what I need from you.
Oh?
So,
Is my mic screwing up?
No, you sound
no.
good.
No, okay. Either way, perhaps if you were wishing to leave, I would say meditation, perhaps connecting with yourself and seeing if you can sense the connection to this place and the way out. That is my way of getting here and leaving.
Just think about it and it'll happen. Do you
It's a
think I'm
little.
dumb?
I'm gonna see if I can't, use well, I guess this version's of prestidigitation. Does it work here?
Are you just trying to conjure a small light like you did
Yeah.
before?
Yeah.
Yeah, it conjures. You get a little light in front of you.
As I said, maybe to some without understanding, but for me it was actually or quite necessary to learn this sort of stuff. I'm just gonna kind of, look at my fingers, just kind of wave the light across each of them, like back and forth.
So, when you took your step back, it is definitely clear that this scientist intended to close the boundary once again, and that is exactly what she does. Gets back into a very, unsafe zone, and essentially starts looking at the rest of you like, well, if you can escape, maybe there's a way for me to escape. Maybe there's a way for me to use you. Tell me, can you leave at your own will?
I'm just going to kind of, contemplate on this, and I'm going to kind of reach for that connection to see if I can't yank myself.
You do feel a tether back to your original body.
I'm going to go ahead and give the whole chain a tug and pull myself.
So as you are pulling yourself out of this environment and feeling the sensation of touch returning on your form, you feel somebody grasp your arm and begin to violently shake you. And you feel like you start hearing screaming as you return back to your original form.
Ooh, fun. I'm going to kind of, give myself a once-over and see if anything's out of place.
You look on your form and you determine that, let me go ahead and roll it. You have minor scratches that appear to have drawn blood on one of your arms.
I'm gonna actually reach out. Aspect,
Yes.
were you, privy to what just happened?
What just happened?
Let's just say I went a little deeper than normal in terms of meditation, and I ended up someplace. You perhaps know what happened to the Dr. Noss? I think that was her name.
Well, that's a bit personal.
Well, I'm asking because the fact I just ran into them, and, how should I put this? They seem to be trapped. She was giving me kind of the creepy vibes.
You do not get a response from Aspect.
Well, whether or not you're willing to share the story about what happened, I'm assuming she tried to hop on for a ride back. So if you have some way of, I don't know, scanning or, going deeper than the skin to check and see if I have an unknowing passenger, I would really
Will
appreciate that.
check to make sure that there is no one that will bother you.
Hmm. So this Umbra's attached, being drawn from somewhere else. That's good to know. Somewhere far deeper. Well, let me know if you find anything, because I'd rather be the only occupant. Well, I'm gonna kind of think on the part of aspect and just be like, well, I'd rather not be a third wheel.
I get your meaning.
I'm just
At
going
this
to.
point, I expect Yarich and Vader's about to come in.
Yeah, as you are hearing the door unlocking and seeing that people are about to cross into the room, you look back down to the injured arm that is still kind of leaking minor amounts of blood from 3 simple scratches of presumably Nost's nails that dug into it. Do you want to cover this?
Not really, because I'm just gonna examine it. Were they more like, you know, like as if it was physically dragged, or did it kind of seem like,
It
cuts that weren't
looks
made by
It
by
looks
something
as
normal?
if somebody has taken their sharper than average nails and has dragged them over to your, like, over your skin, simply has, like, torn simple scratches that are leaking.
Oh, okay, so
That
it's just
being
that's
said,
normal.
as you are gazing at them and as the door unlocks, that will be the end of tonight's session.
Okay.
That's fair enough. We found
I
out
actually enjoyed
exactly
that little
what.
experience.
All right, well,
I
I'll
just,
go
I just
ahead
wanted to kind of
and
jump on the bandwagon and see if my luck was gonna hold out.
I'll go ahead and end the recording here then.